Hey everybody, welcome back to the fourth and final installment of the Roadtrip series with Chase Rao. I think I mentioned this at some point throughout the episodes that we've done, but just in case I didn't, just wanted to say how, I guess to start, just how thankful I am to have a friend like Chase. This guy is just an amazing human. He's in so many ways just someone I look up to, and I'm very happy to have a friend like him that is that dependent, and just whenever times get tough and I'm going through shit, it's nice to have a friend like that just no matter what the world throws at him, he never plays the victim and always just finds a way to laugh through it. And it just blows me away because I'm such a person that I'm not that way. I like to whine and bitch a lot sometimes, or it feels like it. I think when you have a friend like that, it really throws into perspective the things you have to bitch about, and that's really important. You know, I don't think Chase realized just how much I needed this trip when he reached out to me and just threw it out on a whim, and I think it might have surprised him how quickly I jumped to it, because usually I take a little bit of convincing with stuff like this. I'm just a pragmatist, and what about this, what about that? And when he brought up this idea of doing a road trip, I was all for it right away, because I just needed some sort of change with everything going on with the COVID stuff and being unvaccinated and not being able to travel and all that. And this was, before any of the trucker protests and all that kind of, gave me a little bit of hope that maybe things might change. It seems to have not changed much. I still can't get on a plane or a train or anything, and definitely still a second-class citizen in the world. But to get out and just see some normal life, it was awesome. And the things we got to experience, and I've been telling people just how different it is to travel on wheels instead of by wing. I've traveled a lot of places, flown in, and it's an amazing experience, and you get a lot of that. And we did a lot of driving too, and we when we traveled as kids, I know we did lots of driving when we went to Texas as kids, and when we went to California, we'd always rent a car and do a bit of driving. But when you're a kid and you're just reading a book or playing your Game Boy in the back's a lot different than being in the passenger seat or the driver's seat and just taking in the countryside and to see these towns. And what really stuck out to me about America specifically is just how old it is. A lot of these communities, especially like Northern Alberta where we grew up, like Slave Lake was tiny 50 years ago, 70 years ago, 80 years ago, might not even have been there. It was, just a tiny settlement. And in the States, you go through these tiny towns, but they've been there for a couple hundred years, and you can feel it and just that history. And that felt so cool, and just was something that was new, and I wouldn't have expected if we hadn't done this trip, and it was very meaningful. And then I guess just to cap it off, when I started this podcast, there's probably no guest I was as excited to have on but Chase. But I know, he's not shy. To use the word shy is not the good word to describe Chase, but he just, doesn't want to be the star of the show, right? Like, he likes to earn his attention, not like have it thrust upon him, maybe is the way to put it. So it's a bit hard to get him on. He's a little bit shyer. Took a few rums and whiskeys at the very start to get him on, but I think that was the big caveat, or the big carrot that Chase put out when he first pitched this trip. He said, "You know what? And if you come on this trip, I'll do the podcast with you while you're down there, so you don't have to worry about getting guests and stuff." And I think he knew what a carrot that was for me, because of how much I've been bugging him to get on. But I almost think that as much as this trip meant to me, being able to get my friend Chase on the podcast and be able to share this thing that I love so much with him, and just it's so easy for me just to be myself fully when I'm around him. And when we hop on these podcasts and have this conversation, it's almost tough, because I have to remember I'm on a podcast and not just to kind of just talk like we talk. And I know there's going to be some sort of middle ground where you bring as much of that forward as you can while still remembering and making it entertaining and kind of driving the bus, or whatever you want to put it, for a podcast. But just to know that now that we've gotten a bunch of these episodes through and he's comfortable on the mic, and I can have him on kind of whenever I want, well, that might be putting it a bit ahead of itself, but whenever we can make it happen, that's really exciting. And we have some stuff in the work. We might start up a little weekly Oilers podcast or something like that, and that just means the world to me. He's my best bud. I love him. This trip was awesome. I don't know how many people can hop in a little RV together for almost a month and not fight and bitch at each other, and just maybe the slight little annoyances. It was actually, quite eye-opening to see just how little and how well we got along. just start to finish. So lots of great stories in this last one. Lots of good laughs as you guys have seen from the first 3 episodes. Thank you guys who followed along the whole way. And reach out to Chase. Tell him how much you enjoyed hearing him on this and how much you want him to keep being on tons of episodes into the future and all that jazz. Other than that, follow us on social media. Follow the Von Dubcast and all that fun stuff. Other than that, have a great week, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.
Let's go.
Let's fucking go. Episode 4 of the fucking Road Trip pod.
4?
I think so. Because that one I just pulled up to try and see how far we got was 3.
Oh, because you include our preview show, I guess.
Right. Yeah. So episode 3
this is post-view show.
This is the post game show with Bob Stoffer. Oh, yeah. How you been? How you been since the trip? Been back to work?
Been good. Yeah. Started back full time beginning of March.
Nice.
Back to the real world. It's definitely not the same as the road though.
Course is looking good.
Road. Yeah, course is looking okay.
I missed the road too. That was fun. That was like one of the biggest things I was surprised by was like, because I've traveled lots, but I've never traveled on the road and like drove places.
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
definitely it's a very different way to see cities and stuff because you start coming in, you see the outskirts, you kind of see it. It's like a whole build up. You can't just see it. And for some reason, it's bigger from the ground. It feels bigger.
It is
like
on
the ground.
Some of those,
especially Houston, it's fucked.
Oh, it was crazy. Like I don't know, probably the San Fran and Houston. Those are the 2 like craziest ones to drive into.
Well, remember when we drove into Houston, I was driving and I felt like I was in Houston for maybe half hour, 40 minutes. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you see a sign and it's like, welcome to Houston. I was like, that last half hour wasn't fucking Houston. What was that? Yeah. What was that then?
Yeah. And like, that's, I think where we got to the last one. We drove in Houston. I think we talked about getting to the RV park, trying to go drop Rem dogs off at the boarding place, which was a whole...
Me balling my face off almost.
Almost. Yeah, close. Which, no, I'd be right there with you. It's fucking kind of sad for me too. Probably just like seeing you being fucking like, there's
secondhand sadness.
Contact sad. So got him all dropped off, got back to the RV park and we're like, okay, we'll text Cuggy to come pick us up. And we realized Cuggy didn't have a car, which was a fun little exercise. So then, and he's like, also you guys need blankets
and pillows.
So we're like, okay, we just load up. We're trying to like, and we weren't going to come back to the RV park for these couple days, like for the fights for the Super Bowl. We were just going to be hanging out. That
was sad too, leaving the RV. It's almost as sad as leaving the dog.
Girl. We didn't name the RV.
No, I don't. We don't. That was kind of like a one night stand. You don't even want to know its name.
A 30-night stand. I'm surprised by that.
Well, as far as the RV goes, I mean, a month is kind of like a one night stand on the RV. You got it for a month and it's just gone.
Right.
I don't want to remember her.
I'll never forget her. Just like a one night stand. Oh my God. Oh, that's good stuff. What are you crying at? No, you go lay down. Oh boy, that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
You know, we had dogs on the road trip. Now we got dogs on the pod.
I think she thinks Remy's still out there.
I think so.
Because when you went inside, she went to run around and I'd be like, oh, he's gone.
Yeah, he's gone. She does that all the time when like, even when you like come over for a bit and you leave, she does the same thing. She just cannot figure out that people, like, once they leave the front door and like get in the car, she's like, oh, they must just still be out front.
Yeah, Remy's kind of like that too. He'll go just watch out the front
Stupid idiot dogs, hey?
Yeah.
You're stupid. No, you're cute. Oh, good girl. She just lays down. Makes me look silly. So we're kind of like trying to pack up a bag, like figure out what we need for this little weekend there. I realized that I left my jeans in Maricopa. So I like was so fired up. I packed my cowboy boots the whole way.
Wearing cowboy boots and sweats.
Yeah, no shit. I packed my cowboy boots all the way. For Texas, I wanted to walk around Texas in my boots, right? Like that was big on the old bucket list. Didn't have jeans, so I had to, I think I borrowed your pants. Is that the ones you're wearing right now? Yeah. So I borrowed those pants to go, but I couldn't wear my boots. Got all loaded up, hopped in the Uber, loaded all our pillows and blankets in the back. It's kind of a shit show. Rolled into downtown Houston. Oh, we were pretty close to downtown our RV park, hey?
Yeah, it was close. We were right by the big football stadium there, NRG.
Right.
We were like a walk away in our RV park.
Right, NRG is the football stadium. No, what's the Toyota
the baseball?
Center?
Yeah, the basketball is Toyota Center,
and where the fights were. Yeah. Toyota Center. Yeah, so we roll in the Uber, get to Cuggy's place. He comes out of his awesome apartment. I mean, he was kind of like, it's all right.
I think it's just because he was he's moved into it now, but he was planning on moving like
Right.
up the road somewhere to that
Right.
nicer place
Yeah.
with a rooftop pool. So I think this place to him he'd already moved on.
Yeah,
He'd already moved on.
It was old hat, hey?
Yeah. Hadn't even named it.
But he named it. So, but like me rolling in, I'm like, dude, this place is unreal. Like real nice, like lobby,
Yeah, it was a good little
doorman
pad.
kind of thing. Yeah,
the
I
only
like it.
shitty thing about it was the first floor, and the balcony was literally right on a sidewalk in downtown Houston with that LRT going by the outside.
Yeah.
So a little bit noisy. Some sketchy people rolling by that staring.
Yeah,
right
you're
in
just
the-
sitting there drinking beers in his apartment. You just look out the window, some crackhead staring at you. Like, hey, dude, how are you doing? How you doing?
That was the only downside of
Yeah,
it.
but I mean,
good spot.
Considering that, like, it was pretty fucking spanky.
Yeah.
I thought.
Yeah, it was nice.
Pretty nice little apartment downtown. Yeah, so we rolled in. What did we just kind of.
Suga Sean, buddy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was the thing. That was the whole reason that we were boogieing to Houston
To
so
get there
fast.
Friday night.
To get there Friday night because my boy Suga Sean, greatest UFC fighter of all time,
16-0.
16-0, yeah. He was doing a meet and greet at, what was those bars called that we went to all weekend? Dewey's, Huddy's.
Not Dewey's. That's the UVA one.
Yeah, well,
Lil Woodrow's.
Lil Woodrow's.
Yeah,
Not
they're-
even close.
They're kind of like a bar chain, I would say.
but they're
down
like
there.
big
Like
old
they-
bars, and they have like
Oh,
outdoor
yeah.
patios
Yeah.
and stuff. So that's where we ended up going on Sunday for the Super Bowl. But we'll get there. So yeah, we'd roll in, just kind of say hi to Cuggy, have maybe a beer in his apartment. Oh, I think Cuggy had to cook some chicken or something, didn't he?
No, that was some other day when we were
Okay.
leaving.
Anyway, we roll out. We go to Lil Woodrow's. Get in line for the meet and greet. Like see Suga Sean in person. That was pretty cool. Get in line. I'm nervous as fuck. I'm just like real sketched out. Not even sketched out, but just like I don't know,
Sweating
yeah,
profusely.
Yeah, definitely.
Has his Suga Sean hat in his back pocket. Won't
Didn't
even
put it on. Yeah. Definitely caught a couple chirps from you guys for that. Yeah, I just couldn't be that guy. I just couldn't be that
Why
guy.
not?
I don't know.
It would
'Cause I'm
stand out.
weak.
I think if you just had the hat on, but acted normal.
Yeah.
Not you didn't have to go in there rolling. Hey, Sugar, you see my hat? You see? Just wear it as if you're wearing a regular hat.
Yeah.
and it's kind of cool.
And I agree, but like that's what I feel like. If I was wearing the hat, I felt like I wouldn't be saying it, but like with my demeanor, I'd be coming in like, "Hey, Sugar, look at my hat." Like I'm like, "Fuck, that is just so bad. I can't do it." Right? So we
I told
roll
them
in.
we're from Canada.
Yeah.
This is bad.
So we roll in, we're in line, and we just see they're just cooking people through this photo line. Like there's a lineup of people in this really packed bar. It's kind of in the corner. Not many people are even like making that big a deal that he's there, right?
Probably a classic meet and greet. Like I don't think I have been to a meet and
Me
greet
neither.
other than that.
Yeah.
And when the Oilers used to sign autographs in West Ed.
Right.
But that's more of a meet.
Did you ever go do that?
I went a couple times when I was a kid. I have a picture of with George LaRocque. I got a Comrie.
That was sick back then. No,
yeah, I got some
Now
good ones.
LaRocque's a big old pussy.
Come on.
He's like all Greenpeace and fucking rainbow unicorn farts. I don't know. He's lost his edge. He's lost his edge, Chase. He's not who he's changed. He's
Has
changed.
changed. He still kicked the shit out of us.
Yo, fuck yeah. He kicked shit over both of us with one hand tied behind his back. It wouldn't even be fair. Actually, no, I'm a fucking jiu-jitsu one stripe white belt, so
Actually, those are my favorite jerseys to see at an Oilers game.
the
Is that
oil
George
drops.
LaRocque.
Oh yeah.
I'm like that guy. That guy knows.
I feel like I think that, but then when we go to a game and I just see all these jerseys, I'm like, that is the best jersey of all time. Like
You know what my favorite is? When they have a
LaRocque.
current jersey with an old name on it.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started on that. Yeah, like a brand new reverse retro with Gretzky on it. I feel like I've actually seen that somewhere.
We're getting way off track of the road trip here, but I was at the Kings Oilers game 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And there were two guys dressed up full gear and Gretzky's old helmets.
Like full hockey, like with the Cooper.
Full hockey gear, full everything with Gretzky's old helmet. One was a LA, one was a Oilers Gretzky.
Whoa.
And they were like wearing all the shin pads, socks, pants. The only thing they didn't have was skates. Like it was fucking hilarious, and they were wandering around saying hi to people.
That I'm okay with. That's kind of funny.
that was funny.
Yeah, I'm all aboard for that. But yeah, no, the old current jersey with an old player doesn't fly. Doesn't fly
Unless it's George LaRocque.
unless it's George LaRocque. We'll give you that. We'll give you that. Yeah. So get there. We're in. Yeah. So we see the meet and greet. They're just cooking people through. It's not like you get to really talk to him or nothing. And Suga's up there like taking pictures. And Tim Welch, who's his coach, used to fight and they have a podcast together. He's an awesome dude. Like I'm a real big fan of his too. And he's just kind of sitting in the back corner, like with him, but like nobody's even noticing him. Like, I think people just thought he was like a security guard or like someone with him.
Kyle and I wouldn't have known who he was if you weren't there.
So like when we walk up, like before we, like, I think the people in front of us went over to like go take a picture. So we were like the next in line, and I just walked up to Tim and was like, hey dude, like big fan of the podcast, like shook his hand, and he like jumped up, was like real fired up. He's like, hey, cause probably nobody recognized him the whole time. Right. So he's like, yeah. So he hopped in the picture with us too, asked Suga to sign my hat. And he's like, yeah, no, we're not allowed to sign shit. I was like, oh, okay. Just fucking put it back in my pocket like a little fucking dog with my tail between my legs, walked off. And like,
maybe he would have signed it if you were wearing it.
Maybe that's what you said to me, I think, right after, and made me feel bad. Yeah. But yeah, no, that's fine. I'll meet him again. I'll get him on the pod. He can sign it then.
Fucking right.
And
you can sign his fucking
somebody
hat.
fucking offered me $500 for that hat.
At the bar that night?
No. Like when it all arrived, and like it was sold out because he only does like limited drops when it arrived. And I put that picture up. I think it was before like the fight that he released that hat for. I put a picture up. I did a podcast and I talked about it, and I had that picture of me in like the full gear, like with like hoodie, sweatpants, the hat. And then a couple weeks later, somebody like sent me that post and was like, hey, like I would like to buy that hat off you. And I'm like, sorry, dude, like not having. He's like, really? He's like $200. I'm like, no. And he's like, 500. I was like, dude, like, no, like I'm not selling this
NFTs?
hat. Got me NFTs. Hey, I got a Suga Sean NFT.
That's pretty deadly.
It's pretty deadly. I should have told him that while I was there.
Yeah.
Sign my hat. I have an NFT.
Yeah. This is my NFT. Did you get anything for that NFT?
Like, so how it worked is like, it was a drop. You don't know what kind of there's a whole bunch of different kinds you can get, and you don't know what you're getting at mint. Mystery box, Colonel Sanders fun pack, if you will. Kinder surprise. So I got one, and it's like the gamer or whatever. So like it enters you. I think every time he fights, I get like a percentage chance to like win some like fight worn gear. I think I get, but I don't know if I have to like sign up for that or do something with it, because I'm actually not. I just have the NFT. I'm not really that deep in that world where I understand, like, know how to really take advantage. That's same with that full send one that I paid like actually a good chunk of change for.
Yeah.
They've had like festivals and shit where you can go if you have one, and like, I didn't even know, because it's all in like Discord, and I just don't go on Discord. But yeah, that's my own fault. Anyways, and then I think like I get like you can win a chance to like game with him and stuff or something too. Like, but
what does he game?
He games COD. I think mostly COD. I think Warzone he plays, but he might game some other shit. I'm not really sure. And like Tim, and like he got Tim doing it. So Tim streams too. Yeah. They always talk about it. Like in like the midst of their training, it's like, fuck, like you kind of got to plan when you stream, because you get so fired up. He said like you can't like do it right before bed and shit. Yeah, I'm excited. Oh, I also talked to when I went for beers this week with our friend Brennan, friend of the show, been on the pod.
Yeah.
You guys have been on the pod together on that one solo episode. He was talking, Alex Cameron, apparently he's been streaming, so I might get him out to finally get me off the ground and get me streaming. So that maybe this week might be happening. So then we kind of get zoomed through the line. We're probably in the bar for maybe 5 minutes. We get into the line. Hey, what are you doing, honey? Chill out. I think she went to hop up on you and lay down.
Come on.
She's all wet though. Hop up.
Okay.
No, now you're just going to stare at me, make me look stupid. All right. God, you're cute. That underbite, it gets me every time. Just stares at me with her big lip. Hop up. Pause. No? Yeah, hop up. Oh, good. Fake me out. Psych. Okay, you go lay down. We're probably in the bar for like maybe 5 minutes. We're in and out of the picture line. We got a sick picture with Tim and Suga and me, you, and Kyle. And then we're kind of through the line. Boys were hungry. So then we go to Pinkertons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we kind of wanted some Texas barbecue the whole trip. Yeah. And Cuggy had lined it up. He had like the list of the top 3 barbecue places, and Pinkertons was the one he hasn't been. Yeah. So he says, let's go here. I've talking to some people since. It's been on like Diners, Drive-In, and Dives, or so. It's been on a couple shows like that. So roll into Pinkertons.
Yeah. And it was one of the best meals I've ever had. And we had some pretty good mucks on, like Hell's Kitchen. Yeah. We've had some good food. The food you cooked in Tahoe, like we've had some good mucks, but this was just unbelievable.
That was crazy.
So we got brisket, some sausages, I think. We got
the pork ribs.
The pork ribs were unreal.
Yeah.
Pork ribs. Bunch of sides. The mac and cheese was unreal.
Yeah.
They had some like jambalaya stuff that was good, I think. Oh, and we just went to town. We just all ordered together, just got a big muck of everything and just tore it to pieces.
Fed each other.
Yeah. Really.
It was hot.
It was hot. Did the crossed arm feed each other thing wrap around? The geese arms or whatever it's called.
We closed that place down.
We did, yeah, because we were just
had got a pint or whatever.
Yeah. And then Did we go home after? No, we went to that.
The German beer house.
Yeah, we went to a beer garden.
Yes.
Yeah, and they had like all these really cool like swing chairs and stuff.
Yeah,
so we
that was a cool spot.
It was a really cool spot. Like, and it's just this huge bar. Like, probably if like you put that bar in Edmonton, it'd be one of the biggest bars in Edmonton,
easily.
And like it's outside.
Lots of outside, a lot of dogs.
Oh yeah.
So I was all pouty all night because I was like, fucking, I could have had a Remy here.
I think the whole night, like even like going to Suga, going to like, you were still pretty in a tough spot because you were sad about Remy, I think, that night. But then next day we kind of fired it up. So yeah, I went there, had a couple drinks, and it was so nice just to be out, like, because this is, I don't know, it probably sounds silly now, but like at that time, we hadn't been out at bars and like seeing people no mask on. It was like so nice just to be out in like normalcy, just people watch. I was just listening on conversations, had a good bullshit, and then it didn't get too crazy that night. Just had a couple drinks, went back to Cuggy's place, I think, after that.
Yeah.
Just went to bed, woke up the next day. What did we do the next day?
Japanese breakfast.
Oh.
Cuggy got a quick pump.
Yeah, Cuggy had to get a quick pump into the gym. Me and Chase were thinking about it, but we just decided against it.
We went for a walk downtown Houston to that pharmacy.
We missed it. So we woke up. Cuggy made us those smoothies. Those were delish. Had some delicious.
A weird little almond butter. Allergic boy.
Nut boy. Can't handle that nut. Oh boy, goodness. Woke up quick. I'm looking at, for those listening, I'm just looking at my notes that I wrote to remind I have. Woke up, smoothies, quick pump. Walked to the store because we had to get toothbrushes and beer and shit. Went to the store, and then we went to this Japanese place. We didn't even know we were going. We were just walking around looking for food before the fights. Yeah. So this is Saturday. Fights that night. So like I woke up buzzing out of my skull because you were pretty fired up, and like Cuggy, I think, was fired up for like
the balls was hot guy.
Yeah, Cuggy's not as deep in the MMA game as me and Chase were, but
but Cuggy's so fucking Ferda that he was fired up. Secondhand excitement.
Exactly. Like he was fired up, but didn't know what the fuck he's fired up for. Yeah. And so we're I'm like bouncing all day. I was like, even like walking to the Japanese place, I was almost damn near skipping because I was so excited. And like we're just trying to find some food place, and we see this Japanese place. And it looks nice, and we go in, and that was again like 2 mucks in a row that were unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like
Houston's got some good food, people. I think it's the food capital of Texas.
Whoa, that's a bold statement. You might have some people coming after you. Oh my goodness.
What else would be?
I don't know.
El Paso had a good Taco Bell.
That is true. We did get some good Taco Bell in El Paso. Yeah. Austin's got some good food. I don't know. San Antonio. There's so many fucking big places there. That was the crazy part of driving through Texas, is like all these places you hear that are like, the 5th, 6th most like well-known city in Texas. They're still like fucking enormous.
Yeah, there's a couple I didn't even know.
Yeah, and they're huge. So we just have like this unbelievable food at the Japanese place. Almost a highlight of Houston really was that stupid Japanese place we went to.
Honestly, that place was nuts. We went back the next day.
Oh yeah,
like after the fights, we went back for like brunch or something. Got some octopus for brunch.
Superbowl.
Wild. Yes,
it was good. So we did that, and then we roll in to the fights after that. Just walked there because everything's downtown. The Toyota Center's downtown, and we were
doors are 3:00. We were rolled in there around 3, I think.
Yeah, and then we just did a couple loser laps around the concourse. Went to the old
got some howler head.
Got some howler head. Yes, got a shout out to Dana White, and got some shirts. You got a sick hoodie. Yeah,
I did. Yeah.
I was jealous.
Sad story about those shirts. We could skip ahead a little bit. We got matching like UFC 271 shirts. Had like the card on the back. It was just one of those good like souvenir shirts that you get when you. And end of the fights, we do this. We'll talk about this later. But we get down on the floor somehow. Yeah. But coming back up from the floor, like fuck, we left our shirts under the seat, and of course
they were gone. They've gone. Which we knew, but like. As shitty as that was, and obviously we should have just grabbed the shirts when we went down, but we were so fired up to sneak down there, and I kind of saw our moment that didn't think about it, but was so worth it. I'd give up that shirt 10 out of 10 for like the experience around the floor. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. So we roll in, we get buy shirts. Chase gets a sick hoodie. I get this nice hat, and we're getting all fired up, and the energy in the barn's pretty good already, right? Because usually it's not like a hockey game where everyone's there for puck drop. Fights are usually, they fill up as the card gets going, right? And there's lots of the people that maybe aren't as big of fans are just going to show up for the main card. And but having said that, even at doors, it was like already
Oh
getting
yeah,
pretty.
there's huge lineup outside. Yeah,
Yeah, it
People
was
are juiced.
awesome. People
I think
were juiced.
maybe more so people just get there early and maybe not necessarily go to their seats, but they're kind of
Mingling,
wandering around, hitting
yeah.
the merch store, getting a drink. There's lots
sure.
of shit to do on the concourse, like meeting up with buddies and just hanging out.
And then, you know, you start hear, you know, you hear the music. That's like the
Da-na.
perfect. You nailed it.
Na-na.
And then, you know, they do the little pre-fight package. So like, and I was telling like the boys, and Chase was, you know, pretty close on this too, of like, I don't want to miss any like pre-fight package. I don't want to miss anything. Like I'm just ripping quick pisses back to the seats.
So I was the beer bitch.
a little bit of a beer bitch. Yeah. But, you know, that's what good friends do. That's what good friends do. And, we had some good old down home Texas boys behind us. Like it reminded me of like my friends from Slave Lake at like concerts. Like, oh, it was awesome. Just probably 10 of them hammered drunk. One of them was, didn't Cuggy make friends?
Oh yeah, Cuggy was chilling with him. Oh yeah.
And like they were just yelling crazy shit and saying hilarious jokes. They were more excited with the refs. Like when Herb Dean came out to ref, they were way more excited about that than any of the fighters. So the first fight was not a snooze fest, but like two big old boys, Maxine Grisham and William Knight, and it was kind of a, you know, big old Russian boy just kind of wrestle fucked him and just, you know, punished him for 3 rounds. Nothing too exciting.
It was a snooze fest.
I don't know. I liked it. I enjoyed it. But like,
I enjoyed it too.
For the layman, yeah, it wasn't the most, like, it's not something you would tell
I think
your friends
at least heavyweights, when it's a snooze fest, at least there's that like little inkling of how one of these fuckers could get knocked out at any millisecond.
Moment, yeah.
So there's still that. So it wasn't totally snooze fest, but other than that, it was, but he missed weight. How do you miss weight at heavyweight, man?
That is wild.
Or was it light heavyweight?
It might have been light heavyweight. Because William Knight was moving up a weight class and then missed weight, he wouldn't have missed weight. It must have been light heavyweight.
Yeah,
I think
but he missed
it
by a lot.
by like 10 pounds or something.
And
it was like a record.
You could kind of tell he was just,
He was bussy.
Yeah.
Bussy. So then the next fight was one I was super pumped about. This guy named Blood Diamond, who's like with Israel Adesanya's camp, and like they've been talking him up. Like he's been one of like Izzy's main training partners, and this is his first fight in the UFC, kind of his breakout performance. And like it was one of the fights I was most excited for, to see this guy that's supposed to be just this absolute mutant. And comes out, the guy he's fighting, Jeremiah Wells, I just had to look it up because I couldn't even remember the guy's name. He comes out like a bat out of hell, like comes sprinting around the octagon as like
trips on the cage.
Like he was running so fast around the octagon that he like tripped on the cage mid-fight.
And this is the start of the fight. This isn't his entry in and he's jacked up and trips. This is like the fight's on.
Yeah. Get it on. And he comes out flying, trips on the cage, gets back up, grabs Blood, like comes out like absolutely like a psycho and just throws him on the ground, mauls him, gets a submission, chokes him out.
I think Leo DiCaprio in Blood Diamond would have had a better shot at being this guy.
So like just all this hype, he comes out, he lasts like 4 minutes and gets absolutely choked and unconscious. Chill out, dog. What do you want? So that was a bit of a bummer, but then comes out and it was Sergey Morozov and Silva de Andrade.
That was a fucking crazy scrap.
It was a crazy scrap.
That was like that was like the kickoff for the night for me.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, you are psycho. You are psycho, dog. Chill out.
Because Blood Diamond's fight was a bit of a dud. You hyped up Blood Diamond.
I know.
The other guy came out hot.
Yeah.
Chokes him out a quick, and then this little. I think they were whatever the lightest weight classes was. That featherweight.
Flyweight is the lightest.
Flyweight. The flyweights always have crazy fights. They came out and were balls to the wall the whole scrap.
Yeah, it was wild. Both guys. One guy got dropped early. I can't even remember who it was. I think it was Silva de Andrade got dropped in the first round. Looked like he was going to get finished. Then he dropped him in the second round. It was wild. And then I think it ended. Rear naked choke in the third. I think so. It was just it was in the second. So like 10 minutes of crazy back and forth, and then the arena got juiced because that first one was like. And honestly, even though the first two fights. First one was a bit of a snooze fest, but like I think people were so amped, and like UFC hasn't been traveling lots, so I think people were so excited to have it that it was pretty good environment for it. I think
and I think another reason people weren't really booing that one, the first fight of the night, it's at 3:30. Only the hardos are in the building.
Right.
There's like the fans are pretty sparse, and it's the hardos that want to be there, so they're not gonna boo a good little scrap like
Right.
that.
And then I think with the second fight, like it wasn't like it was a bad fight. It was interesting. It was a quick, like came out crazy, got a quick finish. The only reason it was a downer to me because I was so excited about Blood Diamond and he got mucked. But like it's still exciting. So the crowd was getting fired. And then that fight just blew the lid off the place. And then it was AJ Dobson, Jacob Malkoon went to decision, but it was a good scrap again. And then it was Ronnie Lawrence versus Mana Martinez. So like,
Yeah, they had a lot of like Houston, Texas
kinda
boys
guys,
on
yeah.
the card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And Mana
Mana
was the first of them.
yeah, and he was from Houston, and there was a couple people that must have known him, like must have been friends with him,
Yeah.
like a couple seats beside us and like a little bit over.
Because they were screaming.
Screaming. They were losing their mind, right? And like everyone else, like whenever like people around them would cheer for the other, they just lose their mind.
And he was a heavy underdog.
huge because I think he stepped in last minute, and
Yeah.
like the guy had he was ranked way higher
But he
than him.
did. That was a good scrap too, though. He did really well. Did it went to decision, hey?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mana even knocked him down at one point.
In the third, because like he was
it
just
got
getting
wild.
He was just getting pieced up, but like wouldn't quit, kept going forward. And I think that was like that crowd, just like everyone's
Yeah.
going nuts for him. So like kept pushing him forward.
And then he got a knockdown, and it was like, holy fuck, no
he
way.
might pull this out. Holy shit! And the crowd went nuts when he got that knockdown in the third, and like didn't do enough. Like I think he probably won the third, maybe, but like probably got pieced up the rest of it.
Yeah.
But he didn't do enough in the first two. He lost. So, but again, even though the hometown guy lost, it was such a good scrap that it was building. That was what was so fun about this card is a little bit of a downer at the start, but then just rose and rose and rose. It just got crazier and crazier, and then it was. Carlos Alberg, the other one of Izzy's trainer, because there was three of them fighting on that card, right? Blood Diamond, Carlos Alberg, and Izzy. And the shitty thing was, the last time Izzy fought, Carlos Alberg was making his debut like Blood Diamond, and same thing, came out flat and got fucked up, I think. So like he made a good redemption, had a really nice fight, got a big win, and then it was my like sleeper pick for the night. Kyler Phillips and Marcelo Rojo.
Phillips fucked him up.
He did. And what did I say was going to happen? I said, Phillips is going to fuck this dude up because he's good. He trains with Suga. And I knew that. And I was like, oh man, like I'm pretty high on this one. We couldn't bet though. That was the bummer. But if we could have bet, because
Me and Cuggy were betting.
Oh, yeah. Poor Cuggy knows absolutely nothing about this. And you're just,
Cuggy was 4 for 4. He had whoever had the best abs.
that is
That
true.
strategy was 4 for 4.
He was really killing it on that. You're right.
And then I capitalized it, and I think it was on that scrap when I knew, oh, Phillips doesn't quite have the abs, but he's gonna fuck this guy. I'm like, Cuggy, I'll bet you.
That's so funny. Oh, yeah, that was when you guys started betting. And then your favorite fight of the night.
Roxy,
baby.
Roxy.
So like Roxanne Modafferi is Chase's probably favorite fighter.
She's so fucking weird.
She's so awesome.
But I love her.
And
I love her
is
so much.
She's like a pioneer of women's MMA. Was like fighting over in Japan, like before it was even like legal in like America and stuff, has fought for like almost 2 decades. It's just like top of the top, but like very clearly autistic and like super weird, like into anime, like always wears like, like Dragon Ball Z stuff
wig,
to like the weigh-ins and stuff. But everyone loves her. She's like the biggest fan favorite. Yeah. And they put her up. This was her retirement fight as well. And they put her up against Casey O'Neill, who's this Scottish, Australian, real good looking
rocket.
Leg tat. And she's also like a big prospect. Everyone loves her, but like
undefeated, isn't she?
Yes. I think she is. And everyone loves her, but like there was no winning because everyone
it's so
Roxy.
so many that whole building was on Roxy's side.
Yeah. So like she comes out and
it was actually a fucking unreal scrap. They both
was.
just kind of stood toe to toe and like
stood
neither of them really had knockout power. Casey kind of pieced her up a little bit.
Yeah.
Roxy was pretty beat up by the end of the fight, but
like definitely put up a really good showing.
Oh, she doesn't stop. She's just wild. Like she just like puts her forehead down and just pushes forward and just eats. She almost doesn't even look. She just eats punches. Oh man, she's wild.
It was awesome. It was a great scrap. But then, so Casey O'Neill wins, and everyone's booing her, and she starts like cutting a promo, like, "Oh, you want to hate me?" and all this shit. It's like, no, nobody hates you.
Flips off the crowd, like really trying to ham it up.
Yeah, and then everyone just turned on her hard. Everyone was just booing real hard, but it was pretty exciting. It was a great little scrap. Then it was Andre Arlovsky, which I almost like forgot, versus Nasrat Hakparas. No, that's not right.
No,
Jared Venata. Hakparas was after. I was thinking as soon as that came out of my mouth, I was like,
Hakparas fought fucking Bobby Green.
I was like, I think that's like 6 weight classes apart. That's not right. In my head. I looked at the screen. Who did he fight? Jared Van
No
Dera.
idea.
Even me, I have no fucking clue who that guy was. And came out.
That's when you know he's a fucking stray.
Yeah.
Nick doesn't even know him.
Exactly. So like they're probably just giving Orlovsky a nice little, pack out the card, give him an easy fight.
Yeah.
And it says split decision, but I remember Orlovsky, there was a couple weird decisions on there.
Yeah, there's a few.
I feel like Orlovsky really dominated him. I don't think that guy won a round.
Yeah, that one.
That's MMA judging.
I remember seeing Orlovsky fight, but I just don't really remember.
Yeah,
the fight
me too.
that
We're also pretty gibbled up by that point. We've been a little bit. We're in it. We're competing. And then, and then it was the Bobby Green Nazareth Hack-Paras fight.
Yeah, that was the first fight of the main card, right?
Right, and that was a real
Bobby
good scrap.
Green was sick. Yeah.
And in my head, I was kind of thinking that Hack-Paras would have it. Like he's just, younger, seems to be like more of that new age fighter, but Bobby Green just took it to him. He couldn't really do shit.
Yeah.
Just couldn't really get out of first gear. Bobby's just jabbing his face off, hitting him with good punches, kind of keeping him at the end of his length, and Hack-Paras couldn't really do shit. That was the first time I've kind of seen Hack-Paras get not dominated, but just like outclassed, I would say.
Yeah.
And it was, great for Bobby Green. And he was great on the mic after too. Got everyone fired up. Yeah, he's good on it. And then it was Renato Moicano versus Alex Hernandez. And Alex Hernandez is another Texas boy. It's like he had a bit of the crowd going, but Moicano's been around for longer. And like, I'd say it was pretty even. Like it wasn't like the Mana fight where everyone was cheering. I think it was kind of split because Moicano's a savage. Everyone loves him. That was a real good scrap. Second round submission, I think. Because I think the first round...
I just remember him choking him out.
Yeah. But I think first round was more of a stand-up battle. They, exchanged all good little scrap, kind of stood toe-to-toe. And then I think in the second round, he got him down, choked him out. That was a great one. Then it was... Jared Cannonier, Derek Brunson. I forgot that fight was on there. That was a good one. And like, Derek Brunson, I think just finally age caught up to him. I think he's like 39 and like he's never looked 39 until that fight. And Jared Cannonier's like top of the heap. Like he's probably behind.
He's fighting Izzy next, is he not?
Should be. I don't think they've announced it, but like he's the heir apparent for that next title shot, right? Like, and I would say behind Whitaker and Izzy, like Jared Cannonier's a really good shot to say he's the third best 185er.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like that was a good fight. I think he elbowed the fucker and put him down. Yeah.
Yeah, he dominated him.
Yeah. Knocked him out. And
Brunson should try a different color on his hair.
Blonde Brunson was undefeated though until then.
Yeah, that's
because he lost to Izzy, then went blonde, then went on that big streak. You're right. Maybe he's got to go pink. What are you thinking?
Green.
That'd be good. That'd be good. Unless you're fighting a Brazilian. Because they got the green hair.
Maybe.
I don't know if any Brazilians actually dye their hair green. It's usually more the shorts.
Well, this is because green is on their flag.
Yeah. That's why they do the shorts. Like, what's that Canadian chick that always does red hair? All the Canadian chicks do red hair.
Jill,
yeah. Jillian Robertson. Wasn't she supposed to be on this card too? And something happened?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure.
Then
there was a fight that got pulled off that you wanted to see really.
Yeah, there was. What was it?
What the fuck was that fight?
It probably says somewhere on Tapology. Tapology's awesome, bro. Canceled the fizzled belts. Vince Pichel, Mark Madsen, that got rescheduled. Blood Diamond, Ed Herman, Max Christian. Alex Perez, Matt Schnell. That was the one. Alex Perez, Matt Schnell. That one. That was a missed weight cut. Yeah. That was. And I was a bit bummed about that. But like how the card turned out. Yeah. Who cares? I didn't miss it.
Didn't even remember that you didn't see it.
I didn't even remember that I didn't see it. But yeah, before, because I think it was only like the day before. Yeah, because it was missed weight cut.
Yeah.
This dog is just being a mutant. She's torn up a bunch of napkins. She's chewing on the tablecloth. What a savage. Then this brings us to the co-main, which was like what all the casual MMA fans there were like fired up for. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So like the Houston legend, Derek Lewis, the Black Beast, who's like one of the biggest superstars in the UFC that isn't like a title contender, that just has that has like really good name value because he's hilarious. He has a great Instagram page that just shares like all the funny shit.
Yeah,
he has great moments on the mic. He was that guy talking to Joe Rogan like my balls. Yeah, he took his. So like when we were leading up to the fight, we're like, walking around Houston with Kyle, and I think he was on the phone at one point, and he was talking like, "Oh yeah, we're going to UFC tomorrow." And the guy must ask Kyle like, "Oh, who's fighting?" And then me and
the
Chase
balls is hot.
Yeah. Oh, the my balls is hot guy. So me and Chase were laughing at that, like, "Oh, come on, Cuggy, that's who the balls is hot guy." It's funny. So like, comes out and he's fighting Tai Tuivasa, who is the Australian king. Like, comes from West Sydney, and everyone loves him. He always does shoeies after the fight, just huge crowd favorite. But he's in he's in his backyard, right? Like that's Derek Lewis's house. Not that he ever fights very well when he's there.
Yeah, he's about 0 for 2 there now.
I think so. Yeah. And he said like, I'll never fight there again. And then like they scheduled that fight a week later, ended up losing. But like, it was a good scrap. Like they went in straight heavyweight and Derek Lewis hit him with some bombs. And like, that's probably the first time in the UFC we've ever seen someone eat Derek Lewis's punches like that. Like Ty ate some big shots, but instead of just kind of crumbling under it, like most people do, oh, that's good. You're up with Uncle Chase. Give him kisses. Yeah, that's a good spot for you. That's good. Just mucking the mic. Ah, that's hilarious.
Might not have been the best decision here. But
she'll snuggle in. So then, oh boy. Where you going, dog? Chill. She's gone.
This is not good.
She's all in the cables.
This is not good. Sit down.
Oh, that's good, girl. That's good spot. I should take a picture of this for the podcast. So then, they go scrapping and Derek Lewis is dropping some big bombs. It's like everyone in the arena kind of thought he was going to win. And then Ty just is kind of crumpled up against the cage, just eating him. And then at one point he just decides, fuck this, and just decides to stand up and just start throwing back. So Derek's winging punches at him. He's winging punches back. It's just an absolute heavyweight slugfest. And
have you rewatched that fight since?
No. I think I've seen the finish since.
I think Ty was blocking almost all the punches. I've seen like replays of the sequences and like...
Yeah, he was blocking and rolling with him too, so it wasn't hitting clean for sure. But I think that's what I mean about like at heavyweight, even if you're blocking him, it's still fucking crazy.
Oh,
like, even
yeah,
if you
but
get
it's not hitting you in the head though.
Right, yeah.
He's not like, but he was blocking most.
Right. But like it was still crazy. Like, and you can't tell that
in the crowd. So you don't know.
Yeah, it looks like Ty's about to get finished and then just flips the switch. He stands up and then they're just slugging bombs at each other. He connects a good one and kind of turns the tides. I think he got Derek Lewis up against the fence and then just drops this elbow from hell on him, drops him down, finishes the fight. And like, I was curious to see if Ty won, how the crowd would react because, you know, the Houston guy losing, but he's such a crowd favorite. Everyone erupted. And apparently they didn't even show it on the broadcast, like him doing shoeies and shit for whatever reason. It didn't go out on
And
TV.
they're like rushing him out of there.
Which is weird. Kind of weird, but like as a fan in the stands, you got to experience it all. He's again.
Kyle and I did shoeies.
Oh, yeah. Because you guys said you were betting all night. Like
so we kind of we were betting on fight after fight. And then it gets to... But Kyle's kind of looking at the odds and he won't bet me certain things so we get to Derek Lewis fight and it's Ty and Derek. And I said, I want Derek. And Kyle said, no, I think I want Derek too. So I said, okay, how about let's be on the same team here. Let's make a bet against the house. If Derek Lewis wins, we just selly with the Houston crowd. Like we're in it. We're boys. And if Ty wins, we have to do a shoey out of each other's shoes. And I'm wearing these like not ratty old shoes, but I've been wearing these shoes for 2 years straight.
The Adidas that you bought on the
Phoenix trip.
On the Phoenix trip that you guys first got to hear Chase on the podcast on that trip. So he's been wearing these shoes for 2 years. And Kyle is a sneakerhead. So he has these like nice Yeezys. Not quite a fair trade.
I did a shoey out of like probably a $300 shoe. Yeah. And he got my stinky, sweaty old ripped insole Adidas
that you've been wearing on this whole road trip as well. Oh yeah, not the evenest of trades. Man. I don't know. I must have taken a video of it.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay, well if I have
quick.
Yeah, if I have a video of it, I'll definitely post that with this episode along with that picture of the dog sitting in her lap before she jumped off because she's a psycho, just staring at me. And then it was the main event, and I get nervous all the time when it's like one of my favorite fighters. Like I hyperventilate a bit, and like going into it, I was an absolute mess for the whole 25 minutes because it was a close scrap, right? Like Izzy wasn't quite firing, like he was a little bit hesitant almost, and like Rob really got into that flow state, and like you could tell that Izzy was still more skilled, which is crazy to say because I think Whitaker's like one of the best strikers in the UFC. Israel just happens to be the best striker, so like you could tell he had advantages in skill, but Rob was more in the moment, in the flow, whereas Izzy was more kind of thinking about it, a little bit more hesitant, and then he was always thinking about the takedown, and it was back and forth.
He got hit hard once too, and kind of rocked him, and then he was a little timid after that for
8-1, and I was at the end of it. I thought and you can never tell, like in the crowd, it's always hard because you don't get the same, like it's as much as it's so fun to go to these events, the view you get at home is better. right? Like,
Yeah, I kept
the
having to give you
atmosphere-
shit for watching the big screen.
yeah, because I want to know what happens. It's tough, right? Like you're there, and like honestly, that's the best combo, right? If it wasn't so damn expensive, like if I had free tickets to every UFC, I'd want to be in the arena but just watch the screen, because like then you get the better view. You actually get to see the fight well. I guess that depends on where you sit too.
I think where we were sitting, I watched the fights probably 90% of the time.
Yeah,
I tried my best.
I tried to, but I was just glued to that.
It's almost better to not know exactly, like, because then I find it's hyper. Like because sometimes it looks like a punch is blocked, but it looks like just the way the guy's head moves. It looks like he got clipped, so everyone reacts. But only the fighters kind of know. No, that was blocked, or the judges if they're watching close enough. But
the judges don't know shit. They're brutal.
Come on, UFC is the best judges.
It's not even the
in
UFCs.
the world.
It's the commission that does the judging.
You saw
And
that?
they suck. No, that's the drug enforcement. Dum-dum. The Texas State Athletic Commission. It would have been,
Gotcha.
right? Yeah. So like when the fight ends, I thought I'm a huge homer for Izzy, but I thought Whitaker won that fight in house, right?
I did too.
Saying that, and I'm like sick to my stomach, nervous, like when they're reading this decision, and then Izzy wins, and like, I was happy he won. And like upon revisiting and rewatching the fight, like I think it was the right decision. I think, like you say, you can't really tell like what's landing. And when you rewatch it, I think Izzy did land the cleaner strikes. Yeah, Whitaker got the takedowns, but he wasn't really able to do anything with them. And like by the rule set, Izzy should have won that fight, right? Like I think if Rob would have won that fight, you would have said like, oh, that's a worse decision, right? Like that shouldn't have gone that way.
Maybe.
But in house, I was kind of thinking like, oh shit, I think Izzy just lost the belt. I was worried.
Yeah.
So it was like they won the belt, and almost like I didn't even like celebrate. I was just like almost like like breath of relief more than like celebration. But like kind of snap back into it. That was just a couple minutes of it, and then Chase has the moves.
Fucking right. I got the moves.
You got the moves. So you did this in Edmonton first.
Yeah. So I was I was by myself. So I went to a UFC
you
in
got ditched
Edmonton
by
without
everybody.
you. I went with 4 other guys. 2 ended up getting kicked out. 1 went and was hanging out with some girl. And then the other guy, Blassetti, was puking. And I ended up hooking up with him, I think, before.
You hooked up with him?
Yeah.
With the puke mouth?
Yes, puke
Wow.
mouth.
How did it
You don't have
taste?
to kiss.
I thought that's what hooking up was.
No.
Oh, okay.
More.
Sorry.
Anyways, so I'm by myself, watched, it was Max Holloway and Frank Edgar was the main event that night. So I'm by myself, and the fight's over. They're kind of, Rogan's in there doing the post-fight interviews and all that. And I'm in the lower bowl, so you kind of see like guys walking down to the floor and coming up from the floor through like the hockey. They still have the hockey boards up, but it's like a gate. So I see a big like kind of crew of bigger dudes going down there, and I'm about row 15. So I just hop in the stairs and go down and kind of file in behind them.
Yeah.
And there's an usher there, but she's not checking tickets. She's kind of watching.
Pandemonium at the end of the fight.
People are going both ways. Like people are leaving, people are going down. So I just kind of got down on the floor and ended up about kind of working my way up in the seats and got about like 20, 25 feet away from Max Holloway coming out of the octagon with his son on his shoulders, son holding the belt. Like it was unbelievable. Like get down on the floor, get to be that close to Max Holloway, who's one of my favorite scrappers.
Yeah.
So then I said, let's try the same thing. It's easy.
Yeah,
What's the worst that can happen? They kick us out, the fight's over. Kick me out, I'm leaving anyways.
So the whole fight, we knew like, okay, at the end of the fights, we're going to sneak down. Right? That was the game plan. So sure enough, and this is where we forgot our t-shirts underneath the seats because we're pretty gibbled up at this point. So yeah, sure enough, we walk down, no problem, get right by the usher. They didn't care. And we're down right on the floor. We get to watch like Whitaker walk out and walk like, I don't know, 10 feet.
Well, we got like I was closer to these fighters than I was to Holloway.
Oh, really?
Oh, we got like
when we were right there. We were right up against
I think Kyle gave Izzy like a fist pound.
He fisted him?
Yeah, fisted him. Hooked up with him.
Wow, that's intimate.
Hooked up with him.
Intimate. So we got to watch Whitaker leave, watch Izzy. And that was the thing, like the look on Eugene Behrman, who's Izzy's coach, as they were walking out was kind of like, and maybe I was reading into this because this is how I was feeling, but like it looked to me like he was like not nervous, but like not totally happy with how the fight went. Like I think it was closer than they imagined, and like that it was even a worry because that's never happened to Izzy in the UFC where there's even been a shadow of a doubt that the score could go the other way. That's like a first one, right? So I was kind of thinking that too, but then they walk out. It's cool. And then we're just down there and we're seeing all these different people. Michael Bisping and Daniel Cormier are like just kind of on the other side of this little fence. They're like talking to a bunch of people in the crowd. We saw, Lauren Dunphy. Lauren Murphy was there, who's like another big female fighter, and like was talking to some people. But me and Chase were like, we don't want to go up and bug her. But we told Kyle, we're like, that's Lauren Murphy, like a big. He's like, oh yeah. So he goes up to her, doesn't even know who she is, and is like, I was like, I'm a big fan. I can't wait to see you fight again. To get a picture with her, and we're like, oh my god, Kyle, you're such a gomer. Like, but like. He don't care. And then he got a picture with who was that baseball player that was
Carlos Correa, the
Correa. Cheater. Oh yeah, he's a Houston Astro. Boo. Yeah, me and you didn't get pictures of him. He's not. No. We only like we weren't clean athletes. But who was the other guy that I saw on the concourse and I was like, what's his name? I can picture him in my head.
Some nobody fighter.
No, he's a wicked little fighter. He's awesome, and he's a Texas-based fighter. And I saw him and then we saw him again down on the floor. That was sick. I was pretty pumped about that. And then, we were kind of cruising down there. And a couple times, me and you are, we're rule breakers, but only when there's stupid rules. But if it's like a good rule, we probably shouldn't be there. So like a couple times, guys were coming around, but where's your wristbands? Where's your wristbands? So me and you just kind of weaseled around.
And I think at this point, like we had done what we went down on the floor to do. Right. We went down to get close and right close to Izzy, right close to those guys walking out.
Right.
And then once it's like these kind of famous people mingling, it's like, I don't really give a shit about Carlos Correa or like, I'm good. Like we can leave now.
But
Cuggy was just hunkering down.
He was in there. He didn't give a shit who was looking for wristbands. Me and you were kind of a little bit worried about it. But anyways, had good
Cuggy wanted to try and get like underneath the
he was trying to get into
backstage.
He's trying to get in the locker room.
Like, Jesus, man.
He was fired up. So then, ended up leaving. Then what did we do after the fights?
Walked down Houston for 8 hours. Didn't fucking do anything.
And then we were hungry again after that because we had that Japanese food earlier in the day, but that was all we ate. That and a smoothie. So we're trying to find food. And I don't know if Cuggy was like just looking for somewhere in particular or whatever. We're just like walking. But maybe not 8 hours, but it was definitely a good chunk of time. You were getting a little bit fired
like 8
up.
hours.
Where the fuck are we going?
And like there's about 3 or 4 different times we had to change direction completely. Like stop in the middle of the road, 180, back the other way. I'm like, where the fuck are we going?
Yeah. What are you doing, dog? You're going to pull this cable. You came so close to pulling this whole podcast scenario off this table.
Podcast scenario.
I don't know what to call it. Clusterfuck of cables.
Podcast program. You chill out, you big dog. You chill out. Yeah, so let me go. We finally find this food place, order some food and some beers, and it was like terrible food. Like the worst food ever. So then it's like, I don't know, at this point, 2 a.m. Yeah.
And we're like, okay, that was terrible food. Let's just order pizza. So Chase, because I didn't have data on my phone, so I had no phone. So Chase orders pizza. And what happened? Because
I can't remember. Cuggy told me to fucking cancel it, and then something happened. And
because there was a pizza place beside his place that was open, so we're like, we'll just cancel this order, but we couldn't figure out how to cancel it. So then Cuggy grabbed the phone from me. He was like, I'll cancel it.
Tells me he cancels it.
Right.
The pizza place won't let us in.
Right. Because
so I go make another order, and then Cuggy didn't even cancel my first order. So we're just, is she humping you?
I don't know. I'm kind of kicking her in the guts. Why are you humping my leg? You've never done that.
So we get 2 pizzas. I end up just leaving the second delivery. I don't even answer the phone.
It's like 3 a.m. at this point. We're Ashley's on. We're like half asleep when the first one comes. Have a couple pieces on. Cuggy was out. He was out cold as soon as we got home. Oh yeah, he ended up laying down in me in your bed and laid down. So you went and just slept in his room that night. But yeah, it was an awesome day of fights. Awesome night of fights. Wake up the next day and that was the thing. Like going into it, I kept bringing up like, oh my god, like I'm so excited for these fights. So excited for these fights. And Cuggy was like, yeah, me too. But I'm excited for the Super Bowl, right? So like we're thinking like, okay. Now this is the day, right? Like then now this is, and I'm pumped for the Super Bowl too, just because it's an event. I'm not a huge football guy. I just like the pinnacle of sports, right? Like I always watch the World Series, Super Bowl. I just like it, right?
Yeah.
But again,
me playing dodgeball.
Yeah, exactly.
Chase the absolute peak,
absolute peak in the JP Cup. So then, we go to this Lil Woodrow's, not the same Lil Woodrow's that was where Suga Sean was, but this one with like this big outdoor space, had like cornhole, had like a food truck in the bar.
That was pretty cool.
Crawfish.
Oh, Jesus. Don't get me fucking started. Crawfish.
Yeah. So there's these, so we go, we sit down, and then Cuggy had some friends that was going to meet us there or something, right? There was a couple people from Calgary, I think, and then
one of the guys worked down for Shell down there, and Cuggy knew him somehow. Anyways, Cuggy's got buddies down there.
Some friends. So and I don't think we even knew that like going into it. We just thought we were going to meet you and Cuggy, and then a bunch of friends showed up. We pulled a bunch of tables together. So now we have a crew of probably like 10 people.
Yeah,
that might be an exaggeration.
It was probably 10 at its peak.
At its peak, and peak of sports.
And then a bunch of people left at the half.
Yeah, but like before we get there, so now this big group of people shows up, and we're like, so then we had enough to do a 2-on-2 cornhole game, which is like the cornhole's laid out right in front of the giant TV for the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah.
And we're like, okay, let's get a game of Super
Bowl in before the cornhole.
Exactly. So we go out, we line up, and we're like, halfway through the game, me and Chase are absolutely dominating. Completely different styles. Chase goes for the real lofty flop shots. I'm just going straight darts, right? Land on the board, slide in. But
if Nick doesn't get it in the hole, it's coming off, hitting you in the shin.
Yeah,
hot
for sure. But it goes in the hole 90% of the time, so it doesn't matter. Absolute domination. And then
have we ever lost
a game of cornhole?
At cornhole?
I don't think we have.
Liam and your friends, if you're listening. We ran show at your bachelor party.
Yeah, it wasn't even fair. And honestly, we probably knew that. We probably should have split us up just to make things fair. But
why the fuck would you ever do that?
I don't know.
That'd be like if the Oilers were like, maybe we should just trade Dryer McDavid. Like they're too good on the same team. Let's split them up.
Exactly.
Fuck no.
So like we're midway through this game, absolute domination. It's not even close. But then Cuggy comes in with a rule that and we had just come off watching the Natties, the college national championship for cornhole. So we knew all the rules. We're pretty fired up on it. Kobe Costanza, absolute domination there. You know what? I was pretty Kobe Costanza-esque that night.
Yeah, you had that. You had the flow.
And then we're up like 19-7 or something. Then he goes, okay, if you go over the score,
you're back to 10.
You're back to 10. Yeah, that's right.
We're like, what the fuck?
So just mid game rule change because we're dominating. Oh, there's Engel looking in the window, giving us the wave. Come get this dog. She's being a nut. So then we're playing. We're trying to finish up before the game starts, and then the national anthem start playing.
Oh
no! What was before the national anthem? They sang some other song.
It was from the mountains to the prairies.
Was that it?
I don't know. God Bless America.
God Bless America. That's what it was. So we're like,
to the ocean.
But we didn't know. Do you have to? We're like, we didn't know if you had to like stand at attention or take your hat off for that song because we're not American. We don't like, is that like the anthem? Do you have to? So we're kind of like half-assed. We just stopped playing, but we didn't like take our hats off.
How come America has more than one song?
What are you doing? Are you humping my leg?
She's humping you.
What is wrong with you?
That's what I thought she was doing earlier.
She just wants attention. You little freak. You're a girl. You don't hump things.
Maybe they cut the wrong thing when they did her surgery.
Made her
She's
mad?
extra horny now.
She transitioned? Are you a man? Are you a man? Are you a man? So we're just kind of standing there awkwardly.
She could be on RuPaul's Drag. Oh my God. Hey, go on. Sorry.
So we're just awkwardly standing there, and it's in front of the whole bar because we're right in front of like the giant screen. So everyone's staring at it now, and it's just like real awkward. And me and Chase don't like that type of attention. We like to be the center of attention at times when it's for a good reason, but not shit like that. So we're just awkwardly standing there. Then the other anthem starts, and then we just.
He's like, you guys better stop. Take your fucking hats off. They take the anthem pretty serious down here. I'm like, oh shit. And there's like people are staring at us like these fucking guys. And I wanted to just say, they say my fucking anthem and just keep playing cornhole.
Oh, Canada.
One Canadian guy in the game.
Yeah. So then, went back, sat down, watched it. And then it turns out me and Chase were the only ones there that wanted to watch football.
Yeah.
Like I thought watching America, the whole table was just, bullshitting, and like me and Chase were watching. It was a good game. Like, some terrible, terrible calls in the reffing. And
halftime show was pretty unreal.
It was pretty good. Eminem, Dre, Snoop. Yeah, that was pretty fucking sick. We enjoyed that.
50 Cent.
50.
made a meme out of himself, poor guy.
And then, so they have these
Who was the chick?
Missy Elliott? No.
It was like
Mary J. Blige?
Yes.
Yeah.
She was good too. She was even good.
They're all good. Those are OGs. Like when they announced that lineup, there was like, there's no way this is going to be bad. This is going to be good.
The only one that was bad was Kendrick.
Yeah, I don't remember him as much. I kind of blocked that out.
Yeah, because it was bad.
I think I just didn't even know who it was. Did you know? Did we have to ask Cuggy who that was?
Yeah,
So I feel like
that was the only one we had no idea who it was.
Yeah.
And that was another funny part. So like during the halftime show, I found me and you were like super into the Eminem, super into the Dr. Dre and Snoop, and then everybody else got real fired up when Kendrick came on.
Yeah.
It's like, do you guys understand the greatness you just saw with it? And like, it was funny to see Eminem was not part of the choreography. He came in and rapped his little part. They showed pictures of him. He didn't even have an earpiece in, man.
Wow.
All the other artists have earpieces.
Yeah.
He just came out, rapped, and then the camera panned away, and then all those other guys.
He stood in like, because they had
choreography.
like all those like rooms at the start, like when they were still on the bottom part, he just stood in like the door frame so no one could see him on camera.
Yeah.
And then
I think he is probably the one guy that out of like DJ music, rappers, bands, if I could see one show live, it would be Eminem.
Me too. Me too.
Hands down.
Yeah. And I'd travel, like if he was like just doing a show in Detroit or something, that'd be fun. Okay, see, look, it's Grandpa. Oh my goodness. Okay. Finally. That dog was being a nut.
She's normally really good when we do pods. Too.
She is. I think it's just she hasn't had much attention all day.
Remy got her juice.
Oh,
Adrenaline is pumping.
Adrenaline's pumping. Yeah. Kind of like me when we're playing cornhole. Right?
Yeah, a little bit.
So then, and part of like the thing of whatever, I think it's just Sundays they have a crawfish bowl. I don't think it was like a Super Bowl thing. I think it's just every Sunday they do it where they do this crawfish bowl, and we'd never seen crawfish or really anything. And Cuggy really wanted to try it. You were kind of half in. You're like, I'm willing to try it, but like I might get something else.
After those friggin' weird chalupas, I felt like I had diarrhea or something.
Chalupa.
I don't know what they were.
Not churro, not chalupa. What were those things called? So they just had these
it was like a taquito, but not as good.
Oh, there's a name like. Oh, it was just on Shameless. They had the Mexican family move in. They were making them and selling them on the corner. What are they called? Fuck, that's
Tostita.
Nope.
Chalupa.
It's not chalupa.
It is. What's a fucking chalupa then?
I don't know. Vamp for a second. I'm gonna Google this shit. It's not chalupa. I'm telling you.
So we're eating these chalupas.
Chalupa. Chalapa. Oh, I misspelled it. Yeah, that's not even Mexican street food. Let's go with that. Mexican street food. Oh no, I don't want to find
Tapata.
Tamales.
Chalupas.
Get fucked. Tamales. Yeah, so we had our first tamales, and we didn't know what they were, but like a couple people at our
Kind of
table.
disgusting.
Yeah, it was not good. No. And like apparently like tamales really range, like if they're good or, different ones. Mm-hmm. I thought tamales was like peppers, like stuffed peppers or something.
Well, because
hot tamale.
Yeah, I've always heard that saying, hot tamale.
They weren't hot.
I thought it's a girl.
Oh,
right? A hot tamale.
Right, a hot tamale.
Yeah.
We didn't eat any girls. So we so we see all these tables having these crawfish, and then one of Cuggy's friends who like ended up being like, we hung out with him that night, was a real fun dude. Him and his wife were like awesome, but at the time we didn't really know this guy. He's just super fired up with these crawfish, like didn't give a fuck about the game, didn't really give a fuck about what was going on, but just was super pumped on these crawfish and was really trying to push for you guys to get something, right? So he's just like hardcore used car salesman.
I think low key it was just because he wanted fucking more of them. Because when Cuggy went and got his bowl, oh my,
right?
He stared at this thing of crawfish as me and Cuggy, and then eventually I'm like, hey bro, you can dig in, and he's like, really?
Yeah,
dude. And he just took a handful of about 15. I'm like, okay, there you go.
Oh my God. Which I forgot all about that, but you're very right. Now that I put that together. So yeah, we get this, and like Cuggy bought like 50 pounds of them. It was like a giant dish.
Yeah, it came in like a garbage can lid of fucking crawfish, man.
Yeah. So what did you think of the crawfish? Give us the breakdown. Give us the crawfish.
I'm a big seafood guy. Yeah. Like I think maybe other than steaks, if I could pick a meat group to live off, it'd be seafood. Good meat group.
Not dick?
Not dick.
All right. That would be my guess for you. Sausage.
So I'm a huge, like I love shrimp, crab, lobster, fucking scallops. Give it to me all. But these crawfish, I just don't think the juice was worth the squeeze. And it was, you had to know what you were doing because they were so small. It was such a small ratio of meat to even the body of the crawfish. Like if you took in their big legs, it had to rip the head off, and then all these savages were sucking the juice out of the head, and then you had to like take the tail shell off. But if you didn't do it right, then you left the shit sack in there, and then your whole bite, there's more shit than meat, so your bite just tastes like shit. Gross. And I did that like once or twice, and then it turned me off of the whole thing. Like if someone would have brought me just a bowl of crawfish meat, like peeled, deveined, depooped, it was good. It was very like it tastes good. Yeah.
But just wasn't worth the squeeze.
And then your hands are all fucking messy.
Grubby.
You're trying to grab your pint and it's slipping on your glass, and it was not worth it. And then on top of that, a fucking Cuggy putting his heads in my side of the bowl the whole time. So I'm reaching I reach in to grab a crawfish, and it's just a bunch of heads with the ass ripped off.
Yeah, because he did it once, and I laughed at it because he put like a head right by. So like you grab that and you're like, oh, what the fuck? And then I thought it was funny even the first time. Yeah. I'm like, haha. And I don't even think he did it on purpose the first time. I think it was just kind of a brain fart. He did it. He put it back in. Yeah. That's my theory. And then I picked it up. Everybody thought it was funny, and then it was just fucking heads all night long. Day. And he thought it was funny the whole time. And I thought it was funny because of how I could see you getting pissed at it. So then I think I was reinforcing because I was laughing at how mad you were getting at it. Oh, it was hilarious. Yeah. Just crawfish heads. And yeah, like we say, like we're watching the game, like we're excited about the game, kind of talking about, but everyone else at the table wasn't. And then at halftime, after the halftime show, a bunch of people peel out. Like a bunch of the group of Kyle's
pretty
friends.
much all of them left.
Pretty much all of them, except
Party Page.
Party Page, and then Crawfish Guy. Do you remember his name?
Ryan.
You are good with that shit. I would never remember.
And his wife was Danny.
How do you fucking remember that?
I care about other people. I take interest in speaking with them, and
yeah. I was very interested in them at the time, but it's just my brain. It's just in and out. See you later.
Well, you were just interested in one person, in particular. Yeah. So I'll give you that one.
Yeah. So like we were just having. I think my theory on this is me and Chase were just having so much fun being such goofballs that like when they left, because Party Page they were friends with Cug. Ryan and Danny were friends with Cugs.
Yes.
Right? So like they weren't going with that crew. They were the ones that were just down from Calgary. They didn't live down there, right?
Yeah.
So the rest of the crew took off. But I didn't know who Party Page was friends with.
She was mutual friends of those other people that left.
Right.
And she just decided to stay.
Right.
Because I think she had met Ryan and his wife before. Like,
okay, yeah, maybe.
But she wasn't. So she stayed with them, and we got good vibes. So why not?
Yeah, so we're just partying, yeah. So then, finish up the game. Good little game, kind of watch the post game shit, and then we're just having a couple more drinks, and then we're like, should we go find another bar? I don't know. Come, and then this chick that we just met that night, Party Page, she's like, well, you guys got, I live close, and
I got beers. Yeah. I got weed. Yeah, I'm like, need I say more?
Yeah, we're like, let's go. So yeah, so we go to her place, and like, I'd always heard about, and I was telling you all about like this Texas hospitality, because like I remember when I went on a trip to Texas as a kid, I remember like just everyone's super nice, super polite, like just take care of you. And like I kept talking about it, and you didn't really get to see it all that much. So we roll in this chick's place. She's just like handing out beers. Like, do you need anything? Do you need food? Like, here's some weed. Like, just like go for it. Like, if you need anything else, like I couldn't believe how nice. So then we're just listening to music, party, like kind of a cool little apartment, had a bunch of weird shit, party with them. Then we got hungry. I don't know what time in the morning.
It was, I don't think it was that late though, because Super Bowl only goes till what? It wasn't midnight.
Right. Oh, but Cuggy had to work in the morning.
Yeah, but and Cuggy said, "I'm good till 1." I remember him saying that.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So then we go to the streetcar.
That was a Mexican street vendor.
Right. Food truck. That's the word I was going to streetcar. Streetcar. Went to this food truck. Yeah. And she's like, oh, I know that. I know the owner of this food truck. And it's down the street. Let's go there. And we just got unreal Mexican food.
That corn sucked.
Yeah, corn was, and she was high on the corn. She was like, you got to get the corn. So we got the corn. I didn't say it sucked, but yeah, it wasn't as good as the hype was. But yeah, no, everything we ordered
was better coming out.
Fully intact, eh? Fully intact, yeah. So yeah, I had a great little night that night, and then next day.
Okay, wild story about Party Page. So she lives alone, like with her dog, kind of in this like studio apartment.
Oh, that
and
dog
she's
was
telling us
fired up.
this like crazy story about how she thought someone had broke into her apartment.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So she's telling us how like she came home one day and her shower curtain was out of place, like certain things that she knows that she does all the time, but like her dog didn't seem upset, whatever.
Yeah.
But she just felt off. And I've had like where you feel a little something's weird.
Yeah.
So she phoned, and apparently the apartment complex said something about how there was a maintenance guy that came in, but she never. So anyway, she was scared and because lives alone in a big city, obviously. So she has this baseball bat by her front door, and it has like a specially made like baseball bat sock on it.
Yeah, like a bright pink.
And we're like,
baseball bat
yeah,
sock.
like it's weird. And we're like, what the fuck's the sock on there for? And she goes, well, you hit them once, they grab the bat, you can pull it, they get the sock, you get one more hit.
Which
And
is
I'm
like, that's
holy
fucking
fuck,
smart.
that's genius. Like so she's got this baseball bat sock. She tells us she has a gun in this drawer by the door.
And she's from Texas, so like she says it like just nothing's gone. And like everybody in the room except for me, I could see the eyes of like Ryan and Danny, Chase, Cuggs, all kind of like just did like gun. What? Like right beside
I think my look, I never felt like, oh fuck, there's a gun. I felt like fucking gun. Like where?
Yeah, no, exactly.
Like, show me the fucking gun.
But like you guys all reacted. I'm like, oh yeah, like that doesn't surprise me. Like I grew up around guns all the time. Like it wasn't that big a deal. It's like, yeah, we're in Texas. Like that makes
and
sense.
it has
She's
a
got
gun sock on it.
You can pistol whip them once. And they grab the gun, pull it back, you get another shoot. You get another shot. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, there's probably some other stories there that we're forgetting, but pretty good night overall.
Party Paige was a good hostess.
Oh man, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Real fun. And like just how random it was. I just met her that night and just like ended up being super sick, had real good vibes. Yeah. Most of us, I think her and Cuggy had a little bit. Oh, that was so funny. Yeah. No, it was another good night. And then next day you made it back to, we go to the RV park. You're right.
Yes, we got to get back there.
Yeah, got to get back to the RV park. So we had to, again, pack up all our
blankets and pillows and shit.
Call an Uber.
Walking around downtown using the same clothes we wore the night before.
Yeah,
looking like absolute rubbies.
Looked like we really fit in with all the homeless people downtown.
Because downtown Houston was a bit of a ghost town other than homeless.
It was wild. It was wild how ghost town it was. Other than homeless people. Commuter city. It is a big commuter city for sure. So we roll back, get to the RV park, get all our shit loaded up. Had to say hello to the old RV. Didn't name her, but we missed her. We missed her over the weekend. The fish. Got everything loaded up, and we were fired up to go get rem dogs. And I don't know. I think we talked about this on the last one, but like where the dog boarding place was like kind of tight streets, and we're in this big old RV, so it was a shit show to park. So like again, we
actually got a decent park. We just parked right in front of the place.
Was much better. Yeah, still kind of a shit show to pull out, but like, Ram Dogs comes out and is just fired up to see the boys.
Juiced.
Yeah. We roll into the place and he's like, we're like, oh yeah, we're here to pick up Remy. And they're like, oh, okay, we're just cleaning him up. He just pooped on himself.
He's just shit in his cage.
Yeah. So we're just getting him cleaned up. So he'd stay there.
Poor fucker just had to shit in his cage.
Poor little guy.
I was a little unhappy. Yeah, let's not get into it. I was a little unhappy with that place.
Oh, fucking put him on blast, man. What was the name of the fucking place?
I forget now. It was Pampered Paws in Houston.
That's exactly what it was.
So, and I'm a little rattled because we got there at probably like 11 o'clock noon, and Remy shits. His shits are like clockwork. He'll poop mid-morning, like 9 to 10.
Right.
So if he's pooping in his cage at noon, that's telling me he has not fucking been out all morning.
Right.
So that's kind of shitty. One thing.
No pun intended.
Very, very intended. And then on top of that, they had me back. So I had prepared all his meals, like all his dry food packages. I knew exactly when we were going to drop him off, when we were going to pick him up.
Right.
So I had all his meals prepped, like in single Ziploc bags, put them in that big like bin of mine. And so it was enough meals for breakfast that day. And there was 2 bagfuls of food left in there.
Brutal.
So I know he missed 2 meals, and it was just fucking sour taste in my mouth and not pleasant.
Wouldn't recommend.
No.
Wouldn't recommend.
No.
Yeah. And you were not too fired up on them to begin with, like just from the drop off.
And it was just shitty because I got in contact with that first daycare center, but they advertised no kennels. But obviously then I called them and they said, well, he has to pass like a day of exams to make sure he's, because they're not going to be in crates or kennels. They're going to be out. And
they got to make sure he's not going to rip someone's face off.
So then they recommended this one. But,
so we get him loaded up, and then I think Cuggy wanted us to bring the dog back and like for him to meet Remy, but like to drive that RV back downtown to his place and shit. And we were just like, we're going to go off, and we are fired up. So that was Monday, and we got tickets to Joe Rogan at Vulcan Gas Company on Tuesday, which is like almost bigger than, that's my Super Bowl. Like I was unreal. And like you're a big fan. You've seen it before too. Like it was
fucking wild.
I was just like vibrating. I think I was maybe more excited for that than I was for the fight. So we roll into Austin, I don't know, early afternoon maybe, find a little RV park, and like on Joe Rogan's podcast, he always talks about this Terry Black's barbecue. That's his favorite place in Austin. And we end up just randomly, the RV park was like right across.
Walking distance.
Yeah. Easy walking distance. Like right across almost. So we go in, we talk to
this is Valentine's Day also.
And but at this point, we did not know it was Valentine's. Like we didn't put that together that it was Valentine's Day. So we roll in, we talk to the attendant or whatever, the RV kind of owner place, and he was real fired up that we were Canadian. He was, all for the trucker, because that was when all the trucker protest stuff was. He gave us a discount on the he gave us a discount on our spot, because just like we're talking about like he's so proud of us Canadian truckers and all that shit. We just had a good bullshit with him. Gave us a discount. Then we got in, took Remy for a little walk, and then went over to Terry Black's, got another. Like as much as I hate to say it, I think Pinkerton's was a bit better.
Oh, way better, man.
But that's the thing, they were out of ribs, both kinds, I think. So all we got was like sausage and brisket. I think
we went back the next day.
Right. I'm just setting the stage, telling why we're going to go back the next day, because they didn't have ribs. You all right there?
I'm all right. I think I need more liquor.
Hey, well, do you want this claw?
Yes.
Yeah. Get it in. Get it in you.
It's a Friday, baby.
It is a Friday. And we got a big night tonight, too.
I'm currently wearing my Oilers jersey.
Yeah.
I'm juiced.
Yeah. We're going to the Oilers St. Louis game tonight. And then Chase is taking me to my first EDM show. Stylist. Shit. And I am going to dance my fucking face off, which I definitely overdid it yesterday on the exercise. So my body is just rebelling against me. And it might be a little bit of a compete night. I'm going to have to drink some Red Bulls, but we're going to get it done. I'm going to I
have a monster in my backpack.
Whoa. I am a monster in a backpack.
Genie in a bottle.
Gonna rub me the right way.
Silas is not going to play that.
I don't know. I think they might.
Watch him have a remix of it or something.
Right.
Oh, that'd be unreal.
So, yeah, we go to Terry Black's. We're walking back, and there's a mini golf place. So me and Chase roll up. Chase had to go to the bathroom, so like I go to the thing. And like we kind of get a weird look from the attendant. Like, younger guy, and he kind of, gives him I didn't really get it. I thought maybe I'm reading into like, why is he giving me a weird look? Anyway, didn't realize there's two, giant bro dudes, being goofballs rolling in on Valentine's Day. And we're just, being mutants on the mini golf course, like making jokes, and like everyone's staring at us, which is not out of the realm of normality.
Yeah, because we're fucking good looking.
Exactly. Everyone's just staring, drooling a bit.
Yeah.
But we're like, like I was kind of thinking, I don't know if you were, but the whole time, man, we were like, just something seems weird. Like, why is everyone looking at us like this? We, and same at like Terry Black's. We get to start lunch. She's like, oh, are you guys together? We're like, yeah. And she's like, oh, that's great. Didn't even think about any of this at the time. And then, had a nice little mini golf date, went back, got Remy, went for another little walkie poo.
We went for a huge walkie poo.
Went for a huge walk down 6th Street. Because we'd always,
across that bridge.
Yeah. Went across like into like downtown, like where 6th Street, which is like all the bars and stuff in Austin. Like it's the big party street. And, walking
with
down
a dog,
with a puppy.
Imagine like all you locals out there. Imagine walking down White Ave on fucking steroids with a 5-month-old puppy.
Yeah, it
like
was pretty
the
wild.
stimulation that dog must have. Oh, he was just, and it got kind of busy at a few blocks, and it was like just hanging on him on the leash.
Yeah,
wanted to say hi to everybody, but
he's not used to having to walk by people without getting to say hello either.
Yeah.
Had a couple little sketchy moments. This one guy, like you could tell, just a shyster, was like
trying to wheel us.
He was, definitely. He wanted your dick for sure.
No, I mean, I know. Swindle us.
Big time swindler.
I was subconsciously just kind of like feeling my own pockets.
Yeah,
like
make sure
there was no hands in them, making sure. Because, he was a little weird.
Yeah, because he's like, oh, nice dog. Like, and started talking to the dog. So you kind of have to stop, even though we didn't want to. And there's a couple guys behind
And
him.
then didn't he like ask us to buy him a wrap or something?
Yeah, he's like, oh, like, do you just got like any money? Like, I just cash. Like, oh, I just need like I want to get a talk or whatever he said.
But you could tell he was a smooth criminal. Like,
for sure,
he was working us.
Smooth operator for sure. And me and Chase both picked up on it right away. And you could tell, like, we didn't have to say anything. We both knew, we're in kind of a situation. Let's try and get away. So we just said, I just said, no, all we have is Canadian. We're Canadian. All we got is Canadian money. Okay. And he tried to keep us there. Like, no, we got to get going. So we start walking. And then another guy that was sitting kind of behind in this red shirt starts walking. As soon as we turn the corner, he starts walking behind us. And I didn't know if you had seen, but I noticed it right away. So
I think I did notice
so
that.
we just start walking faster and faster. He's like trying to keep up with us. So then we just put on the power walk. And we just like left this guy in our dust.
Got some long fucking legs.
We got some long legs on us. Long.
He's kind of, and if you let Remy set the pace, he's quick too.
Oh yeah,
he's keep up
pulling.
Ram dogs.
Yeah, left that guy in the dust. And then get to the end of the street, and then we're kind of cutting back over to try and find another bridge across the river to get back to the RV park.
This was actually a good walk because it rooted us for our scooter. The next
exactly.
night,
And that was so we got the lay of the land, went by Vulcan, and like saw where the show was going to be, saw where all the bars were, so we're ready for the next night. That's a really good call. And then we're walking trying to cross the river, and then some guy starts yelling at us. Like, hey, you guys! And we just both me and just kept talking. I just didn't even acknowledge it. Kept going. So we're like, oh man, this is kind of a little bit of a hairy place, but I don't know. Austin's and we saw some crazy homeless people. Like not in volume. It wasn't like Portland where there's just homeless people everywhere, but the homeless people there were fucking crazy. That one chick in the middle of the street that was almost getting run over.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah.
Ended up getting back. We went and got an ice cream at the little gas station.
Fucking perfect Valentine's Day.
It was a really beautiful Valentine's Day for the kids. Went to bed. Woke up in the morning, took Remy to got smoothies at the smoothie place by Terry Black's.
It was no Cuggy smoothie, but it was
it was all right. Definitely didn't have the almond butter Cuggy taste, but extra special.
It's fucking delicious.
Yeah, it was good. So then we took Remy to this real nice dog park.
Added peanut butter in mine.
You did,
and it was fucking.
Should have got almond butter.
Nah, well, I'm not a bitch. I can handle peanuts.
That is, you can handle that. Nut.
I can handle peanuts.
You've been handling nuts since a small child. So we took Remy to this big old dog park, tried to play Frisbee with him, but he was so zonked from that walk. And he lasted maybe like half hour. Like he was just
lots of other dogs.
Yeah, there was tons of other dogs. You got to say hi to lots of people. We had some fun playing Frisbee. Actually, it was disc because they weren't Frisbees.
They were discs.
Yeah. Yeah, and actually, when we walked back into the RV place, some of the other guys was like, "Oh, you guys all playing some disc?" Like, yeah, dude,
fucking right.
Man, people love disc golf.
Disc golf is growing.
It's big, man.
Oh man,
it might be bigger than UFC soon.
For sure.
Yeah, guaranteed. Did you hear something weird on the headphones there for a sec?
No,
me neither.
Well, did you drop your phone?
I did, and like when I dropped my phone, I heard like something go different. Almost like there was this noise that was there that cut out, and now it feels like it's quiet. So I hope there wasn't a giant buzz that whole time. But what are you going to do? Weird.
I'm just humming.
Just humming. So then, we brought Remy back. And then we went back to Terry Black's to get some ribs.
Got the ribs and the turkey, dude.
Oh, the turkey.
Slapped.
Turkey was good. So like we're in line and I just do like a little glance back.
Oh yeah, you're
and I see, what's his name?
You didn't even remember his name that day. You're not going to remember
his name. I said it right to you.
No, you didn't.
I said it's not good. It's
You said he's like the best jiu-jitsu guy in the world.
Yeah, and I knew his name because I definitely knew his name at the time because I said to you, I think that's.
Oh, it was the other guy you did.
The other guy, but I still don't know who the other guy is. Like, he's clearly a jiu-jitsu guy, but fuck, this is gonna kill me. Craig Jones. Yeah, it was Craig Jones behind us, and I'm like 90% sure that's Craig Jones right behind us. And like as we like got closer,
so then I turned around, tried to double leg him, and I was like, yeah, that's fucking Craig Jones.
Got guillotined real quick. But that was like super cool. Like he's one of my favorites. It's just kind of cool to see him in line. Then we got our food, and I actually went up and said to him, I was like, hey man, like big fan. He's like, thanks, man. He just kind of awkward.
Let me eat my fucking ribs.
Yeah, no shit. But that was like a highlight of my little day there. Then I think we played another round of mini golf.
Fucking rights we did.
On the way back. Got back, I think we had a little nappy poo maybe.
Yeah.
Woke up, took Remy for a walk. And then our plan was to, I don't know if people are probably familiar with those like Bird or Lime scooters. They had them all over. And me and Chase are like, okay, we go to the show tonight. We're
riding those downtown.
Yeah, to get down to 6th Street. And then we'll just walk 6th Street and go to, we were going to do a bar golf or what do you call it?
Pub golf.
Yeah. So we're going to try and do 9 holes before the comedy show. And, so we, get up from our nap, take Remy for a little walk, make sure he's good, and then go out on a journey to find these scooters. We found one for Chase first. right? And
They were all over. They were pretty easy.
They were all
to find,
over, right?
yeah.
But just like, yeah, we found one 50 feet outside of the RV park, get it fired up. I didn't have data on my phone, so Chase had to kind of hook up both of them. So first we like find one, Chase gets on it, and like, I didn't realize you hadn't been on many like motorized like dirt bikes or scooters. Lots like you figured it out pretty quick, but like you can tell you're a little bit nervous on it at the start.
Yeah.
I was like,
and
okay.
I'm like I'm a bigger guy too, so like I have a little
say that.
high center of gravity. Like a little balance is not my thing.
Yeah, a lot of
you saw me in Penticton. I didn't want to get on that fucking wakeboard. Like
I know.
I don't.
I actually talked about that today. I was like, I'm still can't believe we didn't get Chase to hop on that surfboard. Anyway, so
I'm stubborn.
Yeah. So then, you are stubborn.
Like Auntie Dawn.
Oh my God. So then, Chase hops on. He's just kind of ripping. I'm walking, just kind of going towards 6th Street, but then we find another one. I hop on, and then we're flying on these things because I've been on fucking scooters and dirt bikes all over. So I'm just fucking.
And I felt way more comfortable when I had someone to follow.
Right. Yeah.
And I knew the route, and I knew I could like commit to the route and just kind of like just stare at Nick's like brake lights and fucking go.
Yeah. So then we're like ripping, and these things are fun. I mean,
and we're going across the river on that like pedestrian bridge, so it's like people thick and
dogs and shit. I don't
think
we're supposed to be on that bridge with
fucking
those things.
we were.
And like, I think we're probably really late to the party talking about how fun these scooters are because they've been around for like 6 years. Everyone knows it's just me and you that have never tried them before, but we're like, holy shit, we've really been missing out. These things.
That was fucking fun.
Yeah. So we just had a ball, and like we were thinking we'll just drive them there because like we're probably going to get drunk and like we probably shouldn't drive them home. But then we had so much fun driving there that we're like, you know what? We might have to drive things home. Yeah. And like in my head, I'm like the anti-drinker. I never drink and drive. Like I've done it like maybe like twice in my life, and like it was like 5 feet to my house or something. But they're on a scooter. Like the reason I don't drink is because like I would never want to hurt somebody and like put someone in danger. But like I'm not gonna kill somebody on a scooter. There's no way. I could fuck myself up for sure, quite easily. But I'm not worried about that. That's not like if you could only fuck yourself up drinking and driving, I wouldn't think it was that big a deal, right? Like so whatever. Definitely rationalizing it in my head, but we're definitely like
I think it's fine.
100%. I think it's fine too. I'm just making myself feel good. But we're like, we're definitely hopping back on these. So we get off the scooters, hop into the first bar, which is this gaming bar. Like they have like,
they have esports bar.
Yeah. So esports bar. So like we get there and I see esports bar. I'm like, we got to go in there. So they have like a Wii, like a Xbox, like all these like N64.
They have every gaming system.
Every gaming system. They have Guitar Heroes. Like we sit down and then we're
Smash Bros.
Yeah. So we go and we're like, we're just going to get like the bar's
signature drink.
The signature drink.
Them, like,
exactly.
Special shot or drink. We'll take that.
So we go to this first one. He's like, oh, we have like these Slurpee things. And Chase goes, are they alcoholic? And he's like, oh yeah. Kind of like laughs. I was like, oh, all right. So we get these, and it's like the most alcoholic drink I've ever had. Like it's just like makes your eyes cross.
It tastes like when you're in grade 10 and you got a slush and poured like a half a Mickey of vodka in it. That's what it tastes like.
Yeah, it was pretty stiff. So we get a nice big glass of that stuff, and we're like, well, let's go play some video games. And across the bar, we see this guy with like this weird like backpack rig with a camera coming off it. Like, so he has like a shoulder mounted camera, and he's kind of looking at us across the bar, and we must have given him a look or something. So he comes around the bar to talk to us, and we're like, what are you doing? Like filming a documentary or something? He's like, no, I'm live streaming. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, like I'm streaming on Twitch right now. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like whatever. Like didn't think much of it. Todd, he's like, yeah, we're on a road trip.
Yeah, he kind of interviewed us. Like, what are you doing here?
Yeah, we're like, oh, we're on a road trip. Yeah, we're from Canada and all this shit. And then we're like, oh, we're going to go play some games. So we go over and there's a Switch with these controllers and there's Smash Bros. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to dummy Chase at Smash Bros. Because I never beat Chase at anything. But I was like, oh, I play Smash Bros. All the time. But the buttons were reversed. So I'm literally...
Oh, the buttons. Here we go. So like,
the
buttons.
I literally, we set it to stock, 3 lives, like 5-minute match. I'm thinking this is going to be dummy central. And I literally killed myself 3 times jumping off the edge.
It was dummy central.
It was.
Hey,
I lost.
Give me credit. I knocked you off once.
Maybe.
You killed yourself twice. I knocked off once.
Yeah, okay. I'll give you that.
At least I never jumped off the map.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe how bad I was. But it was very embarrassing. And then we look back and fucking guess who's live streaming the whole match. So like, not only do I get dummied at my own game, but
Creepo Magoo in the background videotaping us.
So this guy's probably like, I don't know, like 5'7", like 100 pounds, like just a skinny little rail, like this weird. And he was dressed in like a suit almost, hey? Mm-hmm. Yeah, like he was in like a suit with his weird like shoulder mounted harness. Yeah. It was odd. So then we go play a little bit of Guitar Hero and stuff, finish our drinks. Then we went to another bar down the way that was completely empty. We're the only guys in it. The bartender looked so pissed that like
he was eating Doritos.
Yeah,
he had to put down his Doritos to make us a drink.
Not even make us a drink. He just gave us a beer.
Yeah.
So like we got a beer. The reason we got a beer instead of like a signature drink was A, they didn't have one, and B, there was beer pong tables. So we just went in, had a quick game of beer pong. Chase won that too, the fucker, I think. It was close. I think it was last cup though. It was a tight game.
Yeah, well, my cups were reversed.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It makes you jump off the edge.
Just like the buttons.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah. So, I think we had 2 beers there, and then where was the next place we went? I don't know.
We walked around that weird back alley.
Oh, right, because we went and smoked a joint behind that back alley. Yeah, we kind of cut off
homeless lady started following us again. Like we just
attract the homeless. Apparently. I think it's because we look homeless.
Maybe
they just are like, one of us kind of thing.
Come back here.
Come back here. I want to suck your dick. Yeah. Whoa. I think that lady wanted it.
I don't know.
I think she was just fucking schizophrenic. Yeah, for sure. And we said that counted for a couple holes. That was holes
4 through 8.
Yeah. Yeah. So then we go to this shot bar.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So we roll into this bar and it's right beside Vulcan. So like that's where the comedy show is. So we're already there, but like the show wasn't starting for a bit. So we're like, we're going to go into this shot bar. And we walk in and it's just got these giant.
There's like 300 different shots.
Yeah. And it's just like giant blackboards above the bar of like 300 different shots, like absolutely heinous. And, so we just start ordering shots, and the bartender was real cute and kind of like seemed interesting, kind of bullshitter, went and sat at our tables. And then was Power Stance before or after the show?
It was before.
Right. So like we're bullshitting, we're having our drinks, and then like Chase is like, I'm gonna go to the washroom, and like, okay, I'll go get some drinks because the bartender's cute. I'll go talk to her, right? And I thought Chase was gonna come meet me at the bar, so I'm like talking about what drinks. He's like, I'll get me the pickle shot or whatever he wanted. Yeah. So I ordered him a drink, and I ordered like a beer and a shot. And I'm just sitting there chatting with this chick, not thinking anything of it. And I'm waiting. I'm like, Chase is taking forever in the bathroom. And I'm just, chatting away. And like, I ended up, she had like a boyfriend from Paris and stuff. And like, he's
petty.
Petty? Oh, I was like, petty? Am I being petty? I don't get it. No, so like, I'm just locked in, just having great conversation with this chick. Like, whatever. Like,
locked
in. And I didn't. So then I'm like, at one point, I'm like, dude, I don't know what is taking my friend so long in the bathroom. She's like, no, he's over there at your seat. And I look over and Chase is back at the table. He's been there for like 10 minutes. So I'm just sitting there talking to this chick like a creep. And I was like, oh, sorry, Ken. Like left, walked over. And Chase is like, dude, you were really locked in. I was like, yeah, we're having a conversation. He's like, no, like you were in like the biggest power stance of all time. He's like, I took a picture of you. And he pulls up his phone. And I'm like, I was like locked in with like my arms on the bar and like one foot
extended back.
Kickstand, like, and then one knee up. Oh my God. I didn't realize I was doing it. Like absolute loser.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know if you still have that picture, just send me.
I do.
Put that as
I do.
Okay. That'll be another picture we do for the release of this episode. So that was real fun. And then we finish up our drinks, go over to Vulcan, and we just had general admission tickets. So like we go in through the front, and like always the front is just like comics and stuff, like the door guys. So something happened getting through the door that was funny. Like, I tried to pull, like I had those joints in my pocket, like that pack of joints, which you were super worried about me bringing to begin with, right? Remember we had that talk
because it's illegal in Texas.
Exactly. And I'm like, dude, it's Austin. Like they don't give a fuck. We're going to a comedy club. Like they're not going to give a fuck. So like as I'm trying to I have like joints in my hand, I drop my AirPods and they explode. You know how AirPods do when you drop that case, just yard sale. So he like helps pick them up and he's like, what's that in your hand? I was like, oh, it's just joints. And he just kind of looks at me. He's like, all right. And just like didn't say nothing. And then, and you had the vape thing, the little weed vape. And I think you're like, oh, it's just a vape. Anyway, we got it. Yeah. I don't know why. This is completely irrelevant, erroneous, all of it. So they tell us, okay, you're going to go upstairs, your general admission. So any seats, but the ones that are touching the rails. And like the layout of the bar is like, or the comedy club is on the ground. It's just normal club on the floor, right? Stage in the middle, up against one wall. And then upstairs is like kind of the same footprint, but like the footprint of the stage is cut out of the top. So it's like a giant, like U-shaped balcony up top, right? So the things that are touching the rails is all the seats around the balcony where you can actually look down and see the stage. And all the other tables are like stepped back. So you can't see the stage at all. And you can just,
there's a bunch of TVs.
There's a bunch of TVs though. Yeah. So like you're still hearing it but you're essentially watching on TV. It'd be like watching the fights on the concourse, right? Like you're still getting, So we're like, we're going to try and weasel our way. So like, as it's getting closer, we go and we're like, let's just go sit down at one of the ones, like one of the primo seats, and just see if we get kicked out. Yeah. So we sit down and we're just kind of chilling in our 2 seats, seeing what happens. And this other couple, probably, I don't know, in their 40s.
Why do you say other couple? We ain't a fucking couple. This couple.
I guess. Sorry. I guess. Sorry. This couple shows up and like sits right beside us, and like we kind of get bullshitting, and they're like, and she's like, are you guys general admission too? Or yeah, we're bullshitting. So then I go, well, maybe it's less likely for us to get kicked out if we're both like 2-seaters at a 4-seat table, if we all just sat at once. So they come sit with us, and like the guy was real nice, and like the girl was a big podcast fan. I could tell like she was talking about a bunch of podcasts she loved. Like, she was all about it. And then
she was weird though.
She was super weird.
Heat bag.
Yeah, real big heat bag. So we sit there, and then eventually, I don't know if someone came up.
No, we got
table.
booted out of like 2 different tables. Tried it. That guy beside us was talking to us. He was doing the same thing. He was there by himself.
Right.
You thought he was some ex-Navy SEAL special.
Not that guy. That guy was a Gomer.
Special ops Russian spy that was there to guard Rogan, and he was gonna choke me out.
Not that guy. That guy was an absolute Gomer, and you could tell he was a loser. But there was, because like Rogan has some crazy security. Like he has a bunch of SEALs that like keep him safe and like guard his like compound and stuff where he does his podcast.
How long does it take to train the SEALs to guard him like that?
No, they're just ex-Navy SEAL that are like, they used to be SEALs, ex-Navy SEAls. Operators is the term. He's got a bunch of operators kind of guarding him, right? And so I know that, so I'm always kind of on the lookout. And then when we went to at the front, like those guys weren't like SEALs or nothing, but then you could see like in the corners there was a bunch of like real big looking dudes. I'm like, that's them, like, for sure. And you're just
those are the walruses.
You're an idiot. And you're just giving me shit for this because you're like, that's not real. And I'm like, dude, I'm telling you.
Every guy that was bigger than us that walked by, that's a fucking SEAL, man. That's a guard.
I was pretty drunk.
Like, trip him, see what happens.
Try and guillotine him, dude. Go for the takedown. So we tried 2 tables, kind of got kicked out, and then me and Chase come up with a plan. We went like right up against the wall, we're up against the table that was against the railing and against the wall, right? And we just were standing behind it, and there was
we were like immediate stage right, like comics right. We were right off his right shoulder,
exactly
above him,
and we were just like, we'll stand behind this table. If by the time the comedy starts, nobody sits down, we will we'll snake this table. But let's just stand here. If not, we're not going to go sit at a table where we can't see. We'll just stand behind this table. At least we can see, and we can stand the whole show. Who cares?
And then Heat Bag shows up.
So then, Heat Bag shows up. The husband and wife,
the other couple.
The other couple. Yeah, no, just a couple. We're not a couple. Chase, chill. Anyway, okay. So the Zoom just died. So I'm hoping that it recorded everything we just recorded, but we might be fucked. We might have to redo it. But we're just going to pretend that it didn't, and it all saved, and we're good, and we're not even going to think about it. So we tried the 2 tables. Couldn't get in. We were just standing behind. This is our plan. If the comedy starts, we're going to sit down. Heat Bag shows back up, and she goes, should we try this table? And we're like, no.
And because all the reserve tables had little tags on them with the name and what. So she's just like, takes the name card and hands it to me. And I'm like, fuck off, Heat Bag. I'm not taking this card.
There was a number on each table, and then this table in particular had a number and a reserve sign. So she takes the reserve sign, puts it in her pocket, and then grabs the number and shoves it into Chase's like
kangaroo pouch
on his hoodie. And like I see the look on Chase's face. He's like, "What the fuck, bitch?" Like I am not.
One, don't fucking touch me.
Exactly.
2, don't put stuff in my pocket.
Yeah, and like also, we just said this is our plan. We're just gonna stand here, and if the show starts,
and the guy that was with her was so chill. He's like standing with us,
and he was
and you could tell he's like
easy, like trying to like ease her up, and we're like, okay, this is weird. So Chase just like as soon as she took her hand out of his pocket, he just grabs it, like put it back on. He's like, no, not. So she's like, I'm just gonna sit down and see what happens. So she sits down, and literally, I don't know, 4 seconds after her ass hit the table, some guy walks up like instantly and
he was
boots
one
her
of
out.
these SEAls.
Yeah, he comes out. He's like, "No, you are out of there." Yeah. And she comes back up. She goes, "Oh, apparently that's Joe Rogan's family's table." And I was like, "Holy shit, really?" And she's like, "That's what he said." And I was like, "Oh man, like, okay, we'll see if he shows up."
And it was kind of believable because we got way more of a reaction sitting at that table than we did sitting at any of the other reserve ones.
As soon as she sat down, it was like instant. Like they were on her, like flies on shit, and was like. So we just said like, no, we're just going to stand here. And they went off and found a table.
I think the guy could kind of tell we weren't into
After the
woman.
whole pocket thing, I think he could, and he was super nice. I think he was like, "Okay, we pushed this too far," and I think he just grabbed her and took her away, which is super nice. So we're standing there, and I'm thinking in my head, like, "Holy shit, is Joe Rogan's family gonna show up there?"
Yeah.
I think he said, no, she said it's Joe Rogan's daughter and his wife's table.
Yeah, something.
And I'm like, "Oh shit!" And I was like, his 2 kids that he has with like his current wife are young. They're like under like 13. So I'm like, that'd be odd. But he has from his first one, he has older, like around our age, of a daughter, and I knew that. So I was like, like that'd be weird if it was his wife and his daughter, like separate. But maybe not. Maybe they're all close. I don't know. I'm not a fucking doctor. So we're just standing there, and show's about to start, and then this guy and a girl about our age,
And they get escorted
to this
by
table
these seals.
and sat down. Yeah, by 6 giant brolic Navy SEALs. They were carrying her on his shoulders. Fuck you, asshole. I'm serious. Oh, you're the worst. So sat down. I'm like, oh, that's fucking sweet. Like whatever. Like that's just a cool. If nothing else, that's a cool story to like tell people one day, right? Like we got to see Rogan fucking stood right by his daughter's table. So that was cool. Comedy show starts, and that's the other thing. It's just Joe Rogan and friends. You don't know who's gonna open, right? And I'm fired up for it. So first comedian that comes out is what's his pickle?
Weirdo Magoo.
Weirdo Magoo.
Screamy.
William Montgomery, who like I have loved forever. He got his start on this podcast. It's a live podcast called Kill Tony, where used to be in LA. Now they do it in Austin at that Vulcan, where all these comics put their name in a hat, or like just regular people. Sometimes it's just crazy homeless people off the street. Put your name in a bucket, and during the show they pull it out, and you do a minute of comedy in front of this whole crowd, and like then Tony and like his crew, and they usually have like a guest host who's a big comedian. They just like roast him and talk to him for a bit, and it's a really hilarious show. And William Montgomery was so funny that they let him come back, and he was a regular. So he'd do a minute every week, and kind of grew and started to open for guys like Rogan.
Yeah,
and he's a weird comic, like very weird brand, but like
in your face,
screaming like almost random shit that like makes no sense, but that's his shtick. So.
Yeah, like and his jokes didn't like most comics will have a bit, and then they'll kind of have a punchline, but it kind of flows into the next bit, and they'll have callbacks. Yeah. His is literally just like very choppy. Like he'll do a 20-second bit and scream at someone, and then just move on.
Like find someone in the crowd, scream at them for something random, like says just like the wildest shit, and like I love him, so I'm laughing my dick off.
Yeah,
like,
he was funny,
and he got the crowd for sure. Like he did well. Like I think at the start everyone's like, "What the fuck?" Like people who didn't know him, but then like he had it by the end. What did you think about it? You liked it?
I thought he was funny. I thought he was funny
because as soon as
he was just such a different style that I've never seen before. Yeah. So I was probably like everybody else, where I was like, holy fuck, is this guy serious? Like and then 10 minutes in, you're like, oh, this is his thing. Yeah. This is what he's doing. And then it was funny.
Yeah. Because as soon as they said William Montgomery, I was like, oh man, I'm so curious to see what Chase, because he's either going to love him or hate him. Because like, I just was like, curious to see how it goes. And then fucking, what was it? Was it Hinchcliffe next? No. So then
Ron White.
It's the legend, Texas legend, comedy legend in the game, like 25, 30 years, like biggest names in comedy, Ron White. Like unbelievable that we get to see Ron White. Like that would be on my bucket list to see Ron White. Just anyway, he comes out and just crushes. And like it's a small little kind of club, and like just and same with the fights, it just built. Like Montgomery came out, rocked the show, like kind of got it heated up. Then Ron White comes out, blasted out of the fucking park. Then so he does, I don't know, 10, 15, like real solid set, super funny. Just super OG. Everyone was happy to see him. And then Tony Hinchcliffe, who is the guy that has that podcast where William Montgomery got to start. Another one of the
he was funny as fuck.
Yeah, best young rising comedian. That's what he always says when he comes out. And he comes out and just destroys, like absolutely tears the room apart. And there was a couple of people that weren't laughing in the front, like they were in like kind of a
the dad wasn't laughing,
right?
The 2 kids and his whatever stepwife or whatever stepwife, his wife, I guess.
Stepwife. Oh yeah. So like Tony, and like midway through his set, like he kind of zones in on this one guy that isn't laughing, right? And like just goes in on him and like he's like, those kids aren't yours, hey? Like with that chick, and she's like, no. And like and he was getting mad. Like you could tell he's just crossing.
He's a real estate agent. So he's getting roasted for that. Oh man.
So he's just going off on this guy, like real funny set. And then Rogan comes out, and it was right in the midst of like deep of the controversy. So like he was supposed to do UFC 271. He's supposed to commentary, but there was so much heat that he just said like it would. Yeah, he's like it would just take away from the event. I want it to be with the fighters. Like if I show up, it's just going to be about like me and like I don't want. And every fighter's going to like get on the mic and talk. Like he didn't say this, but that was kind of what came out with people that know him. Like everyone's going to come out and be like, oh no, like free, and there's going to be like free Joe Rogan chat, which there was anyway at the fights, but like it's going to be nonsense. So he just didn't do it. But like. And he hadn't done any podcast since either. So this is like the first time that he gets out to like kind of talk to the public on it. And like, it was the funniest comedy I've ever seen.
So fucking funny, man.
Like, so I missed a fucking step of this. So at one point, I think maybe after William Montgomery, Chase runs to go piss quick. And as Chase runs to go piss quick, Rogan's daughter turns around to me and goes, nobody wants to stand a whole comedy show. Just come sit down. And I was like, really? And she's like, yeah. So I sit down right behind Joe Rogan's fucking daughter. I'm sitting at the same table with her, just absolutely fucking blowing my mind. And then Chase rolls back around the bathroom and just comes up to me sitting with the fucking Rogans, I guess.
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And you're like, no, just sit down. I'm like, okay, I guess we're fucking. So I sit down, and then the guy she was with was real tall. So then I can't. So I'm just like, I'm just going to stand.
Yeah. So he just kind of stood behind me so you could see better. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, but like still fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So like,
very fucking cool.
Like just the craziest night ever. Just like couldn't get any more perfect. Like just things are just rolling. It was unreal. And then, Rogan comes up and is the funniest hour of comedy I've ever seen because he has such a good hour. Like when his next special drops, you guys are going to see how fucking funny it is. But then with all this bullshit going on, it fed right in, and he had so much, he probably had like 10, 15 minutes at the top of like new material that you could tell was right about everything that was happening to him right now.
Straight off the cuff.
That was like thunderous. Like absolutely, like the walls were shaking. I've never seen something like that. Like my stomach hurt so bad, and just like keeps it going from there. And then went into his polished stuff that he's been working, but on like the same vein of like how crazy his life's got and like all this shit and how like going into like the CNN stuff and like the horse dealer, like how fucking crazy that was and how he's just this fucking goofball comedian. He's living this crazy life. Like the funniest shit of all time. Absolutely unreal. And just unreal comedy show. Finished that up. Went
back to the shop bar.
Went back to the shop bar. Yeah. So like when we're going walk just out,
drank there for a while.
Went to go piss, and there was definitely you can't like I know I thought everyone was a seal apparently, but you can't deny that those guys were fucking seals that were standing there. 100%.
Oh yeah. They had finger tats.
And then the guy that escorted Rogan's daughter to the table.
Yeah, he was chilling with them there.
Yeah, and then when we went down to piss, he just maybe coincidence because they had the bathrooms upstairs closed, so we went down to piss downstairs, and he was following us in there. So I don't know if they're like, who's these random guys that sat with her? Maybe I'm fucking added. That might be, but like he came and pissed right beside us, kind of like was shadowing us the whole time. Anyway,
I think that was the CEO of Google.
You're an idiot. You are an idiot. Why am I friends with you? I don't know. You just make fun of me all the time. So we go back to the shop bar, a couple more shots, hop into the power stance at the bar, talk to the old little lady there. And then we leave there, find some scooters.
Yeah, we kind of got off the beaten path. Okay. So it's after midnight. It's late.
Yeah.
Okay. We're not driving through traffic. We're not driving.
Yeah.
through...
No, we're on. Yeah. We're on like,
we're cut though.
We're cut. Full cut.
So we're like, okay, let's not get a scooter right on 6th Street here. Yeah, it's still kind of busy.
Yeah, this is busy.
Let's walk a block the other direction. Let's get off of the beaten path. Let's get where we're alone, and let's find some scooters.
Yeah, and we're close like the park and like the bridge and stuff.
The big bridge that goes across the river.
Yeah.
So open it up.
We were just opening these things up, and I am just flying around, and you're behind me. Yeah, and
that was when it was nicest to have something to follow.
Yeah,
for sure. It's dark, and I'm like, I'm not good on this thing.
And I'm probably too confident. I'm just like weaving and like cutting around shit and just having a ball, ripping home. Like that was probably one of the funnest parts. And just like the night we had of we were riding high at that point, literally and figuratively.
Literally.
And then we make it like probably a block, 2 blocks maybe away from the RV campsite. And like I've been in front the whole time and just kind of like slowed down a little bit. And then Chase took the lead from it because we're almost home. We're almost home. And like we've been going down the street, and like at the end of every street it's a little like handicap
little ramp on the
ramp.
street, like at
ramp
the
onto
crosswalks.
yeah.
Where it goes down the flat with the level with the road. There's a little kind of crescent shape of sidewalk that goes down nice.
Exactly. And then you get to the other side of the road and it comes back up. And so we go, we're going down one, up one, down one, up one. And it's just the same thing. And then Chase comes out in front. And then just so happens that this one random one isn't like right where you'd think it would have a crosswalk. It's like back 10 feet. Like, so Chase, I'm behind him and he's going forward and he comes up and he sees the curb and like I almost went to yell like just go off it, but he slams on the brakes and like tries to slow down before it doesn't get slow enough, hops off and just bails shit.
Bunny hopped off the curb, bailed,
but like doesn't, so he's still holding on the handlebars but does like a knee slide on either side of the thing, rips his jeans. His knees bleeding, and we're both like as soon as I figured out he's okay, and it wasn't even one of those ones where you have to like check if they're okay because he slowed down enough that I knew you weren't injured. Right? It was just a really fucking comical fall.
I just knew. I think I knew deep down. Okay, if I don't bail and go knees, I'm gonna go face. I'm gonna go face and hands. So I just bailed and just kind of rocked like Tenacious D knee slid on this pavement
while holding onto the handlebars still.
Like, jeans are just shredded.
His favorite jeans, and we are like dying.
So now we both have no fucking jeans.
Exactly. Not a set of jeans on the kids. Brutal. Holy fuck! It was funny though. Like just the night you have, and that just to be like the nightcap on the night of that. Like having that like. It wasn't just that you fell; it was how you fell. It was like the funniest way possible that you could fall. Yeah. Oh my god! It was like if I could get, I'd pay like a lot of money to be able to get that on video again. That I have it in my mind perfectly. I can picture it.
Yeah.
Oh, so yeah, we roll in. Take Rem dogs for a walk, have a little nappy poo, sleep overnight, get up in the morning, go get another one of those smoothies. That was good. Pack up, hit the road, and we
just made miles.
What did we make it to that night? Oh yeah, so Texas is huge. So like we started driving from Austin. We're driving all day, right? We didn't get on the road real early.
We made it into that
New Mexico
really shit town in New Mexico where we stayed.
Yeah. So, but before we got there, do you remember what happened just before we got there?
I got pulled over.
Yeah. So we just roll in. We just get out of Texas. So we're driving all day. It's nighttime, and I think maybe we had...
Yeah, it's 10, 11 o'clock
I think we had maybe just swapped driving and you had like kind of just hopped in. It's like kind of late, but we're making miles and we're kind of cruising.
I got a sugarless monster in me.
Oh, the monsters.
Cruising.
Shout out to the American Monster flavors, the sugarless. They have like a million flavors that we don't have in Canada and they're all bangarang.
Yeah.
Perfect. So we roll in. It was, what was the name of that town?
Carson.
Yeah, Carson.
Carter. Carpet. It was a C. Carson?
I thought
Karsten.
Yeah, I think that was it.
Yes.
So we're rolling into and we're going through like little town, and every little town it slows down to like 30 mile an hour.
Yeah, but it was normally like 50 because it was double lane. Like we were on a fucking interstate.
Yeah, but when you pull into the towns, it goes down to 30 just while you're through the town, then it goes back up to speed. And we knew that, but like I think it kind of was one of those towns where it turns to 30 a little bit earlier. So like you were just starting to like slow down from the interstate speeds coming into the town. But I think the sign was way back ahead. Yeah. So whoop, whoop, the lights out. And we're like, shit, come on. Yeah. Oh, that's why, because I'd been driving all day and like we just switched and then I smoked that night. Like I just smoked weed. So I was like, hi. And I was like, oh shit. So I was a little paranoid. I was like, oh fuck, this is gonna be scary. But like, whatever. So
Cop's an absolute fucking beauty.
Absolute beauty.
But we didn't know that. Yeah, I could tell kind of when he got to the window though.
Yeah.
Because so he asked, obviously the license registration questions, and then he looking at my license, he goes, where
the fuck is Alberta?
He's like, can I where is this? I'm like, oh, it's from Canada. And the first thing he said, fuck you. Now I have to go look up all this stupid shit. Yeah. So I'm like, as soon as he swore at me, I'm like, oh, this guy's
fuck,
chill.
You're an asshole.
He called me an asshole. He's like, you're a fucking asshole. Now I got to go look up all this Canadian stuff.
Yeah.
So he goes,
and we laughed and we're like, okay, so we're kind of, this guy's pretty chill. Yeah.
Worst case scenario, he'll probably dumb it down. I think I was going 50 mile an hour.
50 to 30. Yeah. So he's like, yeah, 50. You're coming in a little hot there. 50 to 30. You're like, oh, sorry.
We're like, sorry, just making miles tonight. Sorry, I kind of lost track. There was nobody else on the road. Like it's kind of a ghost town. The whole state of New Mexico is a ghost town.
We saw like 3 people in New Mexico the whole
time. And one
time.
of them was that cop.
Yeah, for sure.
So he comes back, he does his little 5-10 minute thing in his car there, comes back and he goes, so I'm going to let you off with a warning, but like, just so you know, I I almost had to arrest you.
And me and Chase laugh because like, oh, he's right bullshit. But he goes, but he kind of seriously.
And then he
like,
comes
no,
up,
I'm serious.
your name popped up as a violent offender.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa. So then I get a little bit worried. I'm like, what the fuck is what's wrong here? He goes, yeah, but then I saw on the guy's file that he was African American and you're clearly not black.
He didn't say African American. It said he was black, and you're clearly not black. And Chase goes,
and I go, well, this is a good mask then.
It's like such a bold move, but he's laughing.
Oh, but I could tell you could just.
Yeah,
he had the
dude.
vibe of like,
Yeah.
I'm not giving these fuckers a ticket.
Yeah.
They're from Canada. Like he wanted nothing to do with us.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he made a joke, gave us a little chuckle, and he said,
Yeah.
"Slow down, fucking carry on."
Send us on our way. So like, yeah, that
beauty
was
of a cop. New
beauty of a
Mexico,
cop.
ghost town, shit state, great cops.
great cops. Oh man, back to blue.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the highlight of that one night, and then we just get to kind of the north end of New Mexico, stop in this little town, and it was greasy. Like that.
Yeah.
Like we stayed some.
That was the
sketchy
scariest
places.
night.
I
And
think
the
it was,
scariest thing about that night was Remy. He
Yeah.
kept going to the front seat and barking at
Yeah,
shit.
I
And
know.
we'd go outside and you're like, okay, there's nothing out here. But what the? And that was he wasn't
That
doing
freaked
that
me out, yeah.
at all the whole trip
Yeah.
until that night. And we're sitting in this ghost town gas station at dark, tumbleweeds rolling through, and Remy's barking at stuff. I'm like,
Yeah.
Remy, what the fuck, man?
What is going on?
Stop. You're freaking us all both out. I just had my knife out.
Yeah, you had your knife in the back. And I had my jiu-jitsu gi on sleep.
Yeah.
Fucking choke a guy out, come off the top ropes, off the bunk. So we wake up in the morning and we had a decision to make because like the way we were going to go would take us through Denver, and that was kind of the straight shot up north. And we're just trying to make miles at this point, get home. But me and Chase are both really big fans of Dumb and Dumber. So, Aspen is a pretty, Aspen is Aspen is like the third lead of that movie, right? It's a big deal. So we're like, okay, we got to go through Aspen. So we take this kind of detour through and like went on it was worth it just for this road.
Very cool. Very cool.
Like through the mountains on this like raised highway that was like 100 feet off the ground of like concrete on like these pillars. It was super fucking cool.
Really wild.
Roll in, and then we start seeing these jets, like just private jet after private jet rolling in.
Honing in through like the valley. Oh,
Yeah.
it was cool. Yeah.
And then we get there, and in between there's Aspen and Snowmass Village. There were two like hoity-toity super rich places, and there's probably, I don't know, 100 private jets on this airstrip.
Well, you kind of roll in and you see, it looks like a big rec center, kind of like that's about the size of the building, kind of all like those big barbed wire fence around it, and like one little landing strip. And then, like you said, just like 50 to 100 private jets.
And nice ones.
And like
we're
something
holy
that,
shit.
like, I never seen shit like that in my life. And then the closer you get to Aspen, the more you see private jets. You look up in the mountains, there's like mansion after mansion after fucking establishment. Like they looked like huge hotels, but they're houses in these mountains. You're like, where the fuck are we right now?
So our plan was just to grab try and find a nice restaurant and just get a good meal in Aspen. But it is so tight. Like we could barely drive around
and
that super
so
RV.
busy.
So busy, like crazy. And
I know it's like a Thursday night.
yeah,
man.
and like all the stores are like Fendi and Prada and like
man.
it was just wild. And
Gucci,
just like
Ralph Lauren. Like,
it was wild.
Insane.
And just like the crazy, like you just looking at people walking on the street, it was like the richest place I've ever been.
Yes.
It was just like, this is not for us. Like we couldn't find anywhere to even
Our
park. To go.
shitty motorhome. Like
It was a shit. So we're like, you know what? Fuck
We
this.
saw it.
Yeah, we saw it. Let's go. We'll get food. So we ended up getting food at like one of the little towns, like kind of further out of the valley. Grabbed went to some barbecue place. I got some terrible nachos that night. And then we were just gonna make miles. So Chase was driving at that point. After dinner, we switched, and Chase was driving. We get out of Colorado into Wyoming.
Was that the same night?
I think it was. Because we wouldn't have not made it home the next day, and we did make it home from.
Yeah, you're right.
Right? So, yeah, but that seems
aggressive.
aggressive. It must have been because we didn't stay in Colorado.
No.
And Wyoming's the next state. It had to have been.
Yeah.
So, like, we just pull into Wyoming, and, like, the GPS, and
We were shit talking Google all day.
I wasn't, you were. I don't shit talk Google. Well, Chase always makes fun of me because I talk about Google's listening all the time. And I just listened to that Rogan podcast with that guy that like talked about Google and how like evil they are and how they're always listening. And just like, so then Chase is
don't
like,
get me wrong.
so
It's not that I don't believe you. It's just that I think, who the fuck
Yeah,
does
exactly.
Google care about
Yeah.
me?
So then you
talking
go-
about jerking off and other couples.
So then you hold your phone up and you go, hey, Google.
Fuck Google.
No, you said, hey, Google, we're on the way to kill Joe Biden. And I'm like, you fucking idiot. Don't say that shit. Like, that's illegal. You can't say that. And you're saying all this other shit, just getting me fired up. And then the GPS takes us into like the craziest dirt back road in like the mountains of Wyoming.
And it's
like
dark
and like scary looking. And
the first 5 minutes on this road, there's like 3 deer that run out in front of the RV, and I'm
Giant elk?
That elk was fucking huge. And I know you don't believe me,
I believe
but that
you.
was
I
the
believe
biggest
you.
mutant of a fucking elk I ever. So we're
I don't
driving.
believe that it wasn't. I just think elk are huge, and like seeing one is like, whoa.
Well, no. So we're driving along this like whatever, and I see like a silhouette. You know, I can see like a silhouette of something in the ditch, and I'm like, oh, is that like did a truck hit the ditch? Is it a van? What is there? A roadside turnoff? Is someone parked there? And the closer we get, and right as we're passing it, I see like the fucking huge rack of antlers, and I'm like, that was a fucking elk. I thought it was a truck.
Yeah.
It was huge, man.
So like we're probably on this crazy dirt road going through this crazy shit for like over an hour. I'd say.
Yeah. And then like
maybe not 2 hours,
and
but
it was
over an hour.
like when you look at Google Maps, it was saying like you're on this road for another 50 miles, and I'm like, Jesus, that's like 2 hours, because I'm driving like 20-30 mile an hour. It's windy, it's gravel, it's pitch black, can't see shit.
Yeah, it was wild.
So Nick thinks Google's taking us off to
Not to
some
kill us,
weird
yeah.
like kill camp. Like,
some fucking secret service guys are gonna come out and fucking put one in the back of our heads. I'm like, this is fucked.
we were not going to kill Joe Biden, I fucking swear. Like,
You can't even say that shit. Just saying it's illegal. I was like, fuck. You gotta say, yeah. So we made it out of that area. I think we ended up just stopping. As soon as we got out, we kind of first place we saw in Wyoming, that was like a gas station of Love's or whatever. Those gas stations that are everywhere. Pulled in for the night there, and then the next day I think we pulled it all the way back through.
Yeah.
Got to the border the next day. Oh, so then
this may be the last story. So we get to the border.
No. We slept in Montana that night.
Yeah.
Did we make it all? We didn't make it all. So
No. So we slept in Montana, and then we pulled the next day.
Right. Yeah. So we pulled all the way through Wyoming that night.
Yeah.
Into Montana. We stayed in, was it Great Falls that we stayed in?
I think we stayed in it was like very north Wyoming. We stayed that night, and then we did it the next morning.
No, it can't have been, because where we woke up, where we had the Denny's, was in Montana, because remember we had to clear it. We had to make the decision, we're going to try and sneak all the rest of the weed we had, which we bought way too much, or do we just dump it all there? And it was in Montana, remember? Because I was thinking like, I should message Suga Sean or Timbo and be like,
and that's
hey, here's
where I
a
hit my
picture.
fucking head.
Oh yeah. Fuck yeah. That was bad.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah,
so maybe
yeah.
we did have one more night. Maybe
I think we're
I could check the notes.
It was just those last 3 days was just strictly driving. Like we
sure.
just drove,
Yeah.
slept, drove, slept.
So slept in debrief, crazy night. Yeah, so when we got pulled over, slept at the greasy gas station in New Mexico, woke up on the Chase drive into Colorado, stop, let Remdog have a big rip in the snow. Oh yeah, remember we stopped and had a good play. Drove into Aspen, bit of a shit show, real tight, crazy airstrip. Glenwood Springs had dinner. That's where we had dinner. Back in the road driving. Oh, I didn't even take any notes after that.
Yeah.
That was the last day.
Yeah,
That's
it
when we
was
did the
just driving. So
anyway,
like,
yeah, so we wake up in Montana, somewhere in Montana the next morning. Chase goes to take Remy out for a pee.
it's windy as shit.
Windy as shit. Like that whole night, the whole RV was rocking. It was crazy, like crazy wind. And
The truckers in the truck stop that morning were talking about it. They're like,
Yeah.
wow, how'd you get in last night? Like, yeah, it was windy. It was the windiest I've ever fucking felt. It was wild.
so Chase goes to take Remy out, and our stairs were always like full of shoes. Like we always had like a bunch of shoes on the stairs of the RV. And Rem Dogs, when he's gonna go out, he gets excited. It's like Chase opened the door, and I think Remy pulled, and like you lost your balance. And
My right foot missed the last step, and I just stepped straight outside.
and you fell, and I thought the noise it made, I thought it must have been his arm, and you did hit your arm too. But like he cracked his head on like the door frame of the RV so hard, like. And that was one like not like the scooter where it's like, oh no, that's so like I didn't even laugh, like it was like, oh no,
because I kind of almost fetal positioned and I was like, take Remy now,
yeah. So I grabbed Remy. I'm sitting there in my underwear. Yeah.
Oh man,
you had a huge goose egg.
I haven't had a
on your
goosebump like that since I was a kid, man. Like,
Yeah,
I
that
haven't
was
hit my
huge.
head that hard in a long time. That fucking hurt.
head. Yeah, poor guy.
And when it first happened, like I said, I couldn't
Seeing
fucking
stars.
see straight.
Yeah.
I was a little bit scared, and then it like gave it 10, 20 seconds, and I kind of came to, and I was like, okay, but I just crush some children's Advil and you're good. Good to go.
So then we get to, skipping ahead a bit, we'll get to the border. And like, this is the thing the whole trip is like, I'm unvaxxed scum. I had to sneak into the country, right? So
Scum.
like, how are we going to get back over? How's this going to go? That's like why we made the decision. Let's just get rid of it. We don't need any more heat on us. We're already big heat bags here. We ditched all the weed in Montana, made sure we were clean. We cleaned out the RV, nothing sketchy in there. Yeah. We go through and we had COVID a couple weeks before. So Chase positive. Had a proof of positive, but I didn't get one. So like
you rapid test your picture.
Yeah, I showed a picture, right, of it. And he's like, oh, okay. So then they bring us inside. They're like, okay, park the RV, come inside.
And you were real mad because he asked you, are you vaccinated?
I wasn't mad. I figured they were going to ask me that.
Well, you're just mad.
I was saying
you're mad that they ask you things that they know the answer to.
I was like, you have it on your computer right there. You know that. Why are you asking me? Right, yeah. But I knew they would anyway. That's their standard procedure. But he was actually, that guy was not that bad. He was kind of chill.
Yeah.
So then, I get inside and they're like, we're just going to go search the RV. So he goes through and...
Well, first of all, they made us sit there for like 20 minutes.
Yeah,
they probably had us on camera just judging our nervousness. Yeah.
So we're just
and then they called us back up, re-interviewed. Like, okay, so both of you are aware of everything in the RV, the location. Is there anything you don't? And we're like, yeah, we fucking know what's in the RV, man.
So like, we're gonna go search it. Does one of you want to come with us? And get the we're gonna search the RV. Oh, well, the dog's in there, and we had already told him. He could see the dog in when we were
Remy
there.
Immediately shits in the parking lot at the border service. I was like, fucking right.
So Chase goes out. I stay in the building. Chase goes out there, and Buddy goes in to search. And then what did he say to you when he came out?
I probably walk Remy around that parking lot there at the border crossing for 5-10 minutes, and the guy goes in, does his thing, and he comes out and kind of waves me back over, and he goes, "Hey, guy, like, I don't care what you do across the border, but like, did you guys smoke in that RV?" And I'm like, "Oh, absolutely." Like, yeah, we did. Yeah. And he goes, "Yeah, but you got rid of everything." I'm like, "Yeah, man, literally this morning threw it in the garbage." Yeah. And he goes, "Okay, you're fine. Carry on."
Yeah.
But he obviously could probably maybe smell. It was a little stale. Something was. Something triggered him. Obviously
probably reeked like weed in there,
and we hadn't showered in 4 fucking days. And like, I was wearing my that Mexican stoner sweater. Like, it was
it was a cacophony.
But the thing is, like, we had absolutely nothing to hide. So like, who cares? Like, I wasn't worried about it.
The only thing I was worried about of them giving me shit about like the COVID thing. So they said, you have to isolate for 14 days. You have an isolate. I'm like, you have the ArriveCan app.
They didn't give a fuck about the COVID.
They called me fucking every day. Yeah, I got in fights with them every day after that. Like, are you? Oh yeah, that was bullshit after, but whatever.
Didn't know about that.
Yeah, and they gave me, so you know how like he said like, oh, like, do you have proof of positive? Like, I have a picture of like the rapid test I did that day. And
they gave you that kit and you had to
give
them
the kit. Yeah, so like when they called me, I'm like, they're like, have you taken your test? I'm like, no, like I had it. Like, this is fucking ridiculous. If it was like, if there was any sort of logic to this, I would take it. I'm not bucking that, but you're trying to get me to do pointless shit that makes no sense. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
And they didn't like their, a cop could show up at your house right now. I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
Show up then.
I said, show up, arrest me, you fucking goofballs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I got in a fight with a lot of ladies on the phone from whoever the COVID people are calling. Yeah. Anyway, but we got through, ripped home, and like all the way up, like probably the first 100 kilometers of Canada was just like bunch of little freedom people like in farmers' fields with all these things, and cops everywhere. So there'd be like a little contingent of like, I don't know, 10 vehicles and a bunch of flags and stuff, and there'd be like 6 cops stationed all around them, like just keeping an eye on them. It was kind of fucking rank. But yeah, made it all the way back to Edmonton and got the RV all cleaned out, and had a little pop explosion the last night before we returned it. Yeah. Got it cleaned out. That was a big job to clean that RV. That was a lot of shit in there. Oh, that olive oil or whatever opened up in it. And it was a shit show. But we should probably get to the Oilers game and then to my first show tonight. That's gonna be pretty exciting. Hopefully that fucking didn't lose that whole first half of that recording when that thing died. But if it did, it did. Whatever. We're about to have a great night tonight. Anything we missed? Anything we should talk about? No. Now that you've been on a couple times, I'll get you on all the time. We'll fucking have lots to talk about. All right. Well, that was the end of the road trip. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys on the next one. Bye.
Love you.
Love you. Love you. Love you. Love you. Love you. Love you. Love you. Love you. Love you.